Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. Number one pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the grid. Cade arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B.
No shade.
When he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him washed when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it really, Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went number one for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Win Benyama.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised in Texas, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade.
Forgot about Cade. They forgot about Cade. Forgot about. How you forget about Cade?
Detroit basketball. What up, though? Man, it has been way too long since I have been able to pull these out and sing that song, boss. What up? What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, man, to another episode of the Downtown Dude Show with the boss. Hope you guys are having a good start to your week so far. Boss, how you feeling? How you feeling?
I feel so good. I mean, this is what a great day.
Yeah.
Pistons, this is exactly the kind of win we needed. Like, we've been even talking about when they've been winning lately, how it still doesn't look like them. Mm-hmm. I found myself cheering. It was fun tonight. We looked really in sync. Everyone was being aggressive. We looked, without a star out there too, like we looked much more like ourselves. Yep. And so not only am I thrilled about a huge statement win, yep. That's the kind of win we needed. Not a good enough win, just from start to beginning. Great basketball.
Yeah. So guys, we see you guys in the chat, man. We appreciate you guys showing up. We see you guys already with your comments. You guys know the drill, man. If we miss your comment, repost, caps lock, super chat, whatever you guys want to do to get our attention, go ahead and do that, and we will get to you. Boss, this was a great game. I'm gonna get some super chats from Doug. What up, Doug? Yes. Doug says, no better way to celebrate with Deuce and Boss. Sing it. I had to get that out, bro. It's been way too long. And Doug also says, Celtics lose to Magic. Number is 14 with 11 game streak. So does that mean 7 more losses and 7 more wins combined in our part will get us to the top seed? Is that kind of what it means, I'm guessing?
Yeah, with this win, and if the Celtics lose to the Spurs, which they were down 8. Last time I checked, they were down 8 with 2 minutes left. Yeah. Then the Magic number is 14.
And Jalen Brown got ejected, right, in this game?
Yeah, Jalen Brown got ejected. A lot of crazy things. I heard about that, and then I was like, Bam has 70 points right now. Bam Adebayo, guys, a lot of you guys in the comments, so we'll address it now. Had 70 points with 8 minutes left, and then they were talking about Kobe's numbers, 81, and he passed it at 83 points.
Ridiculous.
I told Deuce, I was like, and Greg Kelser and George Blaha were talking about it. Yeah, only 21 of them were from threes, but then Deuce dropped it on me that it was actually 41 of those were free throws, which is crazy. So I'm so interested in the highlights, because if you get 41 free throws and the refs are giving that to you, you might as well, if the refs are doing it. But to me, then it's like, what are the refs doing? What kind of game was this? Bizarre.
It's what you said, though. It's what you said. Bam was the last person I would have ever expected. Right. It's 450 players in the NBA. He'd have been 449 for me, as far as like he got 83. Like, come on, bro. But once again, 41 free throws. You guys can fact check this. How many times has Cade ever had half of that in a game? When was the last time Cade had 20 free throw attempts in a game?
I mean, 10. And
who's got the better back? Who's the better offensive player? So no shade to Bam. Congrats. Passing Kobe, second all time. But the game has changed. That much is for sure. And I just, more than anything, I'm like, man, Cade got to start getting some calls, bro. Because 41 free throws in a game, he doesn't get that over 3 or 4 games. Maybe even 5 games sometimes. So, yeah. Shout out to Bam. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, truly. I'm excited. I'm curious to go look at some highlights because I do want to see what kind of fouls they were calling. I mean, if the Wizards are pulling him down every time, then obviously. So
43, Michael Moore thought it was 41. That's even worse. Wow.
I said, and he missed some. I think someone said that if he made them all, he would have a 90.
I think he shot 50. He shot 50 free throws.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
I believe because he was 41 for 51 when I checked at 80%.
Oh,
so if he's ridiculous.
So then I want to see where the Wizards just like pulling them. Like, guys, we lost to the Heat 2 days ago, but we didn't let Bam Adebayo break records on us. So
nah,
crazy. I need to see it.
That's wild. That's wild. But once again, shout out to Bam. You still got to go score. You still got to go get him. So shout out to him despite the circumstances. And they got a dub too. So that's the most important thing as always. So good for him. All right, guys. So for anybody, before we do that, we got some more super chats we got to get to first. Let's get those in real quick and then we'll keep going. Let's go to our guy, Dom, first, boss. First and foremost, coming through as he always does. What up, Dom? Dom says, wasn't here after the Miami game because my mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, you don't say it at all. Hey, I feel you on that. Hey, but you didn't have some things to say before, bro, that wasn't quite so nice. So I was surprised not to see you because I thought you was going to be one of the first ones making me go like this to read the comment because I know you'd be saying a mouthful. But then he says, glad to end the streak. This is what I wanted to see Saturday. Thankfully, LeVert didn't play, so I have nothing to complain about. Well, LeVert didn't play last game when they still got destroyed.
Yeah.
So I ain't going to blame it on. I know you're just joking. But it is nice to see these guys kind of meshing a little bit better together for sure. But I feel you. Like last few games have been really frustrating, right? Nets game, Heat's game, even a few games before that when they were in games, it didn't look like Pistons basketball. So Dom, I agree. It's just nice to see them playing their style again in that streak. Boss, any thoughts on that?
No, that's exactly. I agree. You covered my LeVert stuff, but it was nice to see Huerter out there. Just some of our guys get some extra minutes. So, but welcome. Thanks for coming after the dub, Dom.
Look, he wasn't done. He then follows by saying, I hated the 40-plus free throws, and Miami was intentionally fouling to get extra possessions while up 30 to get Bam more. So a manufacturer game. I don't know about the Wilt game. I've seen highlights from that game. Yeah. I don't know how that game looked. I just know he was better than everybody else out there. And then he would get them all on 2-pointers, which is crazy. But as far as the Kobe game, that kind of stuff wasn't happening. Like he was just going at all those guys, like Jalen Rose, who I love, and everybody else. It wasn't just Jalen; it was everybody was getting buckets. He was telling everybody to come here to come get this work. So it's just interesting to see how the game is officiated, how things kind of work out. But once again, I'm gonna give him his credit, but it's just interesting. Anything on that, boss?
Yeah, I can't say anything because when I hear that, I hate that. Because then again, then it goes to the ref's state of mind or how obvious. I have to watch. I have to watch it, and obviously 83 points.
That's fair.
He was at least making free throws, which is something we struggle with. So we can't talk about.
That's a fact. That's something you got to make them. You got to make them. So,
but I do need to know
how it happened.
Yeah, my dog found a squeaky toy, so I got to get that from him.
Who is that? Is that Bear?
Yeah, he's rolling around squeaking.
He be the one causing the most ruckus whenever we hop on here. Like he wants your attention. I get it. All right, guys. So if you did not catch this game, the Pistons finally ended their season-long 4-game losing streak, blowing out the Brooklyn Nets 138-100, and they improved to 46-18 on the regular season, avenging their loss to the Nets from this past Saturday. And really quickly, happy birthday to Coach Bickerstaff. Happy birthday to. So had to shout him out for sure, man. 47 years young, really doing great things for this team. A lot more to do. And it's funny because Cade, they asked Cade, Johnny Kane asked Cade, are you guys gonna get him anything? He's like, nah, man, nah. We got him this dub. We got more dubs to go get for him. That's his birthday present. So that's what I want to hear. Just keep stacking dubs. So that was good to hear. But happy birthday to him for sure. As far as the injury report, we hit on it a little bit, but Caris LeVert remains out with a left wrist sprain. I'd imagine he'd be out at least a game or two more, depending on the severity. And Asar Thompson, he also is still out with the right ankle sprain, and there still is no timetable for that return as well. Hopefully we get something soon, an MRI or something, just so we have an idea of how long he's going to be out, because we do miss him for sure, despite this win tonight. So as far as the Nets, they were missing Zaire Williamson and Day'Ron Sharpe, and Day'Ron had a huge impact in that last matchup, and he was a big reason why the Nets were able to steal that game late, but they were not available tonight. And the Pistons went with the same group for the third straight game, I believe, or second straight game, of Cade Cunningham, Marcus Sasser at the 2, Duncan Robinson at the 3, Tobias at the 4, and JD at the 5. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and launch the poll for who you guys think should get the belt. So great to say that. The last 4 games have been the reason for the loss, and I got tired quickly of having to use that as a poll. So tonight, it's good to get back to the belt and who you guys think should get that belt. So that is live. You guys go ahead and have at that. So if there are no more super chats we got to get to, boss, or anything that you see as far as chat, we can go ahead and get to some initial thoughts and kind of go from there. So what did you see in this game tonight, boss?
Man, it was just so much fun. We just really looked like ourselves. We got off to a great start. We scored on our first 4 possessions. All 5 of our starters had points on the board within the first 4 minutes. We had great ball movement just the entire game. I didn't love, again, like we questioned Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup on MPJ, and MPJ did get their first 7 points, and so I don't love that 9. Okay, I don't love that matchup, but yeah, whatever. We still pulled it out, and but once he was switched on to a better defender is when he kind of went downhill for the rest of the game. Those first few minutes in the first were MPJ's best. So but yeah, it was just a lot more fun. We got on transition. Like I said, the ball was moving, guys. Everybody that was in a shooting slump basically got their shot back tonight. It was just the perfect game. Because we talked about it earlier. Like I was like, I'm not going to complain about a win, but I'm not going to be happy if it's one that's like hard fought or pulled out, or we're sloppy, we're turning it over, we're not making our shots. Like after a 4-game losing streak, this is the exact type of game we want, and it's been what I've been wanting to see from the Pistons for the last like 8 or 9 games, honestly. Just looking more like themselves. So love this. This is one of my favorite games of the season for sure.
Jamoke says, Sasser coming on. I told y'all, hey, we're going to get the Sass, bro, for sure. For sure. No, that's your guy. Doug says, Sarah, what you said a few weeks ago is coming true. The schedule now lightens up as the next 10 games are very winnable. We survived it. Woo! Yeah, the schedule lightens up, so now we got to tighten up for sure. We got to make sure we're matching that and not playing down the competition like we did on Saturday. But no, you are right about that. Let's get to another or a few more from Sella the Hermit. What up, Sella? Sella the Hermit. That's a funny name. Sella says, hey, y'all. Just came to say I'm so proud of Ron because he really had to woosah tonight. Also, I'm really loving it when JD plus Big Stu are together on the court. You speaking my language, Sella. I'm also loving the Sass and Cade combo. So what's going on, Sella, first of all? Proud of Ron. We're going to get to Ron, too. Proud of him, man. Ooh, I'm proud of him for sure. Just from this between the ears tonight, man. He really proud of Ron. We're going to get to that for sure, Sella. So hang on for that. And you know how I feel about JD and Stu. Y'all know how I've been preaching to the choir about that all year long. I want to see those guys start or at least play together more. We didn't get a ton, but we got some. We got some more flashes of how it can look together, those 2 guys. So that's good to see. And Sass and Cade combo. Yeah, I think offensively, that's one of the best backcourts they can kind of deploy just because of their ability to both be able to play off ball and on ball. Not as much Sass, but he's learning and getting better, which we're going to get to as far as how he's playing right now compared to in games past and seasons past. So Sella, all good points there. And then she follows up, boss, by saying Kevin is looking a little more comfortable as well, man. She is digging into my box scoring notes for sure. She beat me to the punch. But look, Sella, we agree. We agree for sure. We're going to get to Kevin Huerter as well and talk about him. So make sure you throw your comments in there so we can get you back on the screen. All right, boss, let's keep it pushing. And now let's go to your initial thoughts from this game. Talk to me.
I gave them to you already. You're up now.
I gave them on me. That was all you had? Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of individual things to say, but I'll save it for as we go to the box score.
Okay. All right, bet. So as far as what I saw, what I always want to see is the Pistons just come out and hit first. Right? Hit first, set the tone, play to your style, play with urgency. And I thought in the half court tonight, they were really good. It was really crisp ball movement, off ball movement, and playing with intention. And then defensively, too, they were on a string, man. The rotations were great. Guys were locked in. There was no missed assignments, no back doors, and guys looking around like that was me. No, that was you. None of that stuff. So that's what I like to see, because you see guys running off curls. You see the guy defensively switching and staying attached, just playing with trust, right? And that's part of why the Nets shot 0 for 14 in the first half. They just didn't have a lot of airspace to be able to get shots off, and that was good to see. And as far as the hitting first part, they made the Nets call the first timeout, which we always say. Make them call the first timeout. And they actually make them call the second timeout too, right? And they went up double digits in the first 5 minutes of this game, and they blew it open in the second half. They went up as many as I think 43 in the second half. So it was good to see the Pistons just getting back to who they are looking to run at every opportunity off of missed shots, off turnovers, because that's who they are. That's when they're at their best. So on one possession, you could actually hear JB screaming, "Run, Daniss, run, run, Ricky!" And they outscored the Nets 26-5 in transition. So they got back to who they were all around, right? That was really important. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you brought up JB yelling. We heard a lot of JB tonight. I loved it. I was like, I want him to be by the mic all the time. You heard him yell for Kevin Huerter to run. You heard him yell at Ron on fouls. You heard him correct people. You heard him just be a coach out there, just constantly, whether it was giving props or telling his guys to do better. It was fun. I really loved hearing his commentary tonight.
I did too.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's almost like he felt he had to get back to that just for these guys to lock back in. Because one thing that he said that he's really appreciated this year, I think it was on a road tripping podcast. He was just saying that last year he was doing a lot of teaching in practice, in game, from the sideline, barking, giving out instructions. And what he really enjoyed this year is not having to do that as much. Just kind of being able to chill and just kind of watch and observe because these guys got it. Maybe at some point there were some breakdowns because now he's much more vocal than I've heard him all year, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. So if that's what's needed, just to get these guys, give them a refresher, maybe after the All-Star break, whatever, just to get them back to their principles, back to who they are, I'm cool with it. I'm glad. I was really happy to hear him so vocal as well. So that's a good point you make. The only other thing that I was really paying attention to, because the first half was great, but I was paying attention to the second half, boss. Going back to last game versus this game, the Pistons had a big lead in the first half too, right? But they lost the game. 23-point lead just dissolved, and they lost. So the biggest thing I was looking for in this entire game was the third quarter. How are you going to start the second half? I had a feeling they'd be up in the first half. I had a feeling they have a lot of pent-up anger from the last game, the last couple games, but especially against the Nets, that they want to just, put this game away and really just show them that they're way better. So I had a feeling they'd be up in the first half. But how are they going to finish? Were they going to come out flat, play down to their competition again, give the lead away, or were they going to keep their foot on the pedal and take care of their business? And tonight, they seem to have learned from that lesson on Saturday, and they took care of business. So for that, they deserve credit.
Yep, I agree too. And there were just a couple of things I didn't love in the third. Like, we kept giving that one guy shots in the corner for threes, and there was just never coverage. It was in front of our bench. So there was a couple, once they started hitting, but I think they were 0 for 14 in the first half. So I think we laid off the perimeter on them. And then they just started hitting their shots. But that was we had a great win. I'm not going to sit here and point out weaknesses, but that's just something I noticed when I won. Let's go. Let's go. That just increases our lead a little bit. I think we mentioned it earlier, and someone else said in the chat, but that Jalen Brown was ejected. So I'm excited to see those highlights as well.
Right.
But yeah, is that the first loss that they've had since Tatum's back? Yeah.
Yes.
Third game back. Yep. Okay. Well, curious. So increases our lead back up to 3.5 games ahead. Which is just nice. Like JB said in the presser, we're not worried about Boston. And he didn't, like, the media tried to twist it. He didn't mean in terms of competition. He meant in terms of we need to focus on ourselves and our game right now, obviously. So yeah, it is nice still to have, as these games dwindle down, we got 18 left, to have as big of a cushion as possible.
I'm glad that, because Bleacher Report was the first one to kind of make that post about JB. I'm glad that everybody, I was reading the comments, I'm glad that everybody picked up on what they're trying to do. All the comments were like, man, come on, it must be a slow news day or something. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm glad that everybody called it out and it didn't blow into this thing where it's like there's misunderstanding, where JB saying that we're not worried about any other team in the East and more so we're worried about ourselves. I'm just glad that they didn't fall for the bait. Nobody seemed to fall for the bait. They didn't take the bait, and I thought that was a good thing. As far as a few other numbers, as far as how the Pistons did tonight, they shot 50% from three. And that usually happens more often, not that high, but they shoot better when they get turnovers. When they turn teams over, that's when they shoot better, and everybody kind of had it going, which is a great sign. They outboarded the Nets 40-31, which is who they are. And they had more assists, 36-23, which is ball movement and unselfishness. Go ahead.
The ball movement was great. And also looking at some of the rebound numbers, they're not that high. The most on our team was Stu with 8. But you look at their team too, and it just shows, but that goes in hand with us shooting 57% overall. It just meant that we were making shots.
Exactly.
And then it was just spread. It was a team win. Everybody that played tonight scored. And almost everybody that played tonight had a rebound. Chaz didn't. and then 8, like everybody except 2 people had assists. So love to see that. And I wanted to point this out too, that I think they put it up on it was a stat that they put up, but I think right now we lead or are close to leading in the NBA in steals and blocks as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the first time a team has ended the regular season leading in both of those categories, or the last time it was 1973-74.
Yep.
Over 50 years ago. So it's the regular season is not over. And I can't remember.
The Thunder did it though back in 23-24, led the league.
Oh,
in steals and blocks.
Did they say that? I must have missed that. Okay. Yeah. So other than the Thunder, you mean?
Yeah.
The last time 73-74. Okay. But I just love that stat because again, that's like you said, you brought it up how we were just able to get steals and stops and turn the ball over. Even though we're not a transition pull-up 3 team, like you said, it just sets the pace for everything else. I think when we're not relying fully on our 3.5 court situation, it takes the pressure off of some guys to try to drain some.
I'm glad you brought up the possibility too of the Pistons being able to they're on pace, like you mentioned, to finish the season leading the league in stocks, in steals and blocks. And the reason I mentioned the Thunder, the reason I mentioned them is because even though they didn't win it that year, the Thunder, shout out to you, Ray, appreciate you, bro. Even though the Thunder didn't win in 23-24, they lost to the Mavs, who went on to go to the finals. They lost in the second round. So even though the Thunder didn't win it that year, they took a step forward from the previous year, right? And they won the chip the following year, which was last year. So I know we always talk about the offense and the shooting and how the Pistons got to get better in those areas. All fair points. But despite them not being a great shooting team right now, they're still establishing who they are as far as identity, which is defense. And I think next year that'll be even more reinforced. And who knows? If they're able to execute Trajan Langdon properly in the offseason, they could follow suit with what the Thunder did last year. And they could do it next year, right? So, but once again, even in 2026, boss, defense is still winning championships. It always starts with the defense. And the Pistons, who will likely make some offensive upgrades this offseason or before the trade deadline next year, they're still built on their defense the same way the Thunder are. So I wanted to point that out. Despite the offensive woes and things, just like the Thunder, we're building our team the same way from a defensive standpoint and then adding and complementing that with our offense eventually when the time is right.
I just want to add to that too. Just I was thinking about it while you brought it up, is that the few years that they were building into that, they made it to the playoffs. They got a little bit further each time. They didn't make a big change until Giddey. I think Giddey was their biggest trade, and that was just the year before. Yes, and that. But they still, at that time, they still had, 4 or 5 guys at their core, and they've retained a lot of the same people and brought in little things. And then they had one bigger move with Giddey, which is kind of what I expect. And I think we'll have the bigger move this off season, or at least, they brought in good guys. They brought in good extra help before that for a cheaper price. Like the guys that they brought in, like Caruso, who we always have known was a great defender. We played him a lot against Chicago. He's even just had such an impact on that team. Right. And that might have not been seen as a huge move, but so I think that's coming, and it just reinforces the whole idea of they didn't make the in-season move, and they just, or was Giddey traded in season?
I think he was. I could be wrong. I felt like it was in season.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. You guys fact check me on that. Either way, timing.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Timing and just the whole, I love OKC and San Antonio. Both of those teams are teams that have a lot of young talent that have been together for a few years. And so just I think that's why we're comparable to them in the East. It's
all about steps. All about steps. If Devon were here, he'd be screaming, OKC East, OKC East, OKC East, OKC East. Shout out to Devon if he's here. All right, back to this game. As far as what I was seeing though, it was a good win. It was a convincing win. They did what they were supposed to do. And that's kind of where I'm at. I never get too high. You never get too high. You never get too low after a win or a loss, right? But you always acknowledge what it was. But with that, they did what they were supposed to do in this game, right? It's the Nets, so I'm not going to go crazy, but they were supposed to win this game. And for me, regardless of the scoreboard, even if they'd have won by 50 like they did the first time they played them, right? I would still have slight reservations as of right now today, right? Because I got to see consistent basketball from the Pistons. I got to see consistent Pistons basketball now. They haven't really shown consistently since the All-Star break that they've been really inconsistent the last few weeks now. So I just got to see consistent ball before I'm willing to stick my chest out and say my confidence is fully restored. They got a favorable schedule coming up, like Doug and you mentioned. So they'll get the chance to stack some wins and get back to that. I just got to see it. This period of the season right now, it's about peaking at the right time, heading towards the playoffs. So it's just very important they don't mess around and take care of their business. I think it can happen. It probably will happen, but I'm not going to be premature. I'm going to just kind of wait and see and hope that we can continue to get this consistent play over a span of time the way we've had this inconsistent play over a span. So
yeah, and that's kind of exactly how I feel. I think I feel a little bit better about it because it wasn't just in these 4 losses that we looked off. It was since our like 3 games in a row of nationally televised games. The Spurs, ever since then, like it's like our team hasn't been in sync. And so again, like wow, like this definitely felt more like the norm. And of course we have to stack it. And I looked up tonight because the Sixers did beat the Grizzlies, who the Grizzlies really have none of their stars. It's all young guys. So it doesn't say much. But Cam Payne, rat boy, he's on the Sixers. He had 32 tonight.
Not a fan.
At a 9 out of 10 shooting. Kelly Oubre had 30. Quentin Grimes had 23, and VJ Edgecombe had 21. So even without Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey, who we found out today will be out for 3 weeks, they're still going to give us problems. And Cam Payne and Kelly Oubre have both had good games against us in the past. So there's still good. Like we need to win. I would love to see something like tonight again against the Sixers, who definitely have more talent against us than the Nets, but I believe we're a better team.
Convincing win is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, exactly. So that will, getting another good win where we play like we did tonight, we play more like ourselves. That will make me feel like, okay, like we're back in rhythm.
Facts. I just got to see more. But your point is taken. This is a good first step. It's a good first step. And there's plenty of time. I think it's still 18 games left for them to get right and then stay right so they can have some momentum and some rhythm heading into the playoffs. So I agree with that. I will say this lastly before we get into some box scores, boss. And I said this to you earlier tonight. We were talking about it. The 5-game cushion that the Pistons have for most of the year is paying dividends now because they were right at like 5, 5.5, 6, 5, 4. And they've been kind of sitting there as far as their gap over second place. The second place team has been rotating, right? The Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, they've been kind of rotating at 2. But we've had that 5-game lead over whoever is at 2 for most of the year. After game 9, we took first place and never looked back. But the lead is down to 3 now. But that cushion they built all year is paying dividends because that helped them to still be able to kind of weather the storm. It allowed them to be able to have a slump and still be in first place, right? If they weren't as consistent throughout the season as they have been, they wouldn't be in first place right now because the Celtics have been very surprisingly good without Jason Tatum. So it's just, I'm just want to give that credence because they've earned the right to have this cushion because they've been consistent and now they're happy they have it because without it, it'd be a push for who's in first place right now. So now with that, they got to wake up, stay awake and not fall back asleep and just hit the resume button on their season for the stretch run and finish strong. And if they do, they will finish in first place for sure.
Yeah, I think it definitely, like JB said, they're just focusing on their team right now. It doesn't really matter about records, but that these guys know it. They want to stay. These guys want to finish at top of the East. So again, coming out tonight and just all of them basically finding their rhythm again, and just looking like our old selves and not just letting some things fly or throwing up threes or anything like that. Just smart decision, just great basketball, but great Pistons basketball coming out. And George Blaha mentioned it a couple of times during the broadcast of just Cade just looked focused and like angry the whole time. He looked focused.
He was ready for this to end.
Yes, exactly. And I mean that goes, and when we get to his box score, it shows in his game tonight too. But they weren't gonna let it. I think you said earlier how we never get too high or too low about things, but if they lost tonight, I would you would have seen a different Sarah here. I think very little optimism to find in that losing to the
different boss, different dudes, different chat.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. We already know. I already know. So I totally agree with you there. Let's get to some comments real quick. Heisenberg says, no more falling asleep at the wheel and no more playing with, stop priming that food, bro. Just go ahead and take care of business and don't let it get away. 13-game win streak really helped. Yes, exactly. Yep. Early in the season when we had injuries and guys were out and Cade was missing a game here and there and Tobias was out and guys were hurt and Daniss was starting and all these different things, that them being able to weather the storm and keep that streak going early in the season when teams are still trying to get their bearings. Like if you look at the standings now, check the teams at the top of the conference, last 10, most of those teams are like 7-3, 7-3, 8-2. Like they're getting ready they're in a rhythm now. So for us to do that at the beginning of the year, to give us that lead early, really helped us. So that way, if we did have a slump, we still had a gap. And that's where we are right now. So hopefully now we can increase that lead again and get back to business. So I agree with you there, Fonnie, for sure.
Yes.
All right, boss. Let's get to this poll real quick.
Okay.
Let's see what you guys thought about the player of the game. So who gets the belt? 53% says Cade at 53%. And you got JD at 24%. Duncan Sass at 20%. And Ron and Tink at 3%. So Cade is running away with it.
Yeah.
At 53%, and I am not mad at that at all. A lot of candidates as usual.
As always.
But I'm not mad with Cade getting the belt because they forgot about Cade.
Yeah.
All right, boss. Let's get to some let's do some box scores, man. Let's check out. We were talking about Cade. Let's start with him first as far as how he played in this game. So, guys, tonight, Cade Cunningham finished with 21 points on 8 for 10 shooting, 4 or 5 from 3, 1 of 3 from the free throw line, 3 boards, 15 assists, and 2 turnovers. For a better, a 5-to-1 ratio? Better than a 5-to-1 ratio. That's crazy. Yeah. 1 steal in 21 minutes. Great game from Cade, boss. What did you see tonight from C2?
It was actually 26 minutes. I think you were looking at his points, but
what did I say? I said 21?
Yeah, but yeah,
okay.
26
minutes.
Still very low for Cade. He got to sit up basically the whole fourth. So that's why we saw him, I think, play. I think he played into like under 4 minutes left in the third, and as soon as I saw that he was past the 5-minute mark, I'm like, they're gonna rest him a whole quarter. Mm-hmm. So to do that, I mean, 8 of 10 shooting is great. It sucks that he missed 2 free throws. It was like when his the one little slump, he missed his first field goal and then missed the 2 free throws. Because but you know, he could have had even more, but 8 of 10 is just awesome. 4 or 5 from 3. He was feeling it. He had, the first was just basically, he did it all. He was sharing the ball. He was hitting threes. He was driving the basket. He was 7 for 7, or he finished at 8 of 9, right? I think he finished the first half 8 of 9 with that last kind of heat. I was hoping he'd give it up.
I wish he wouldn't have shot that because he could have finished the half perfect.
That's what Blaha said too. But maybe he thought that he could get it, you know? He had a big time lob to JD for a slam over the nets. That was the one that he lobbed up and it was over like 3 guys. Yep. And then he had that in the third. He had that really nice behind the back assist to the trailing.
That was JD. Pretty.
That was when I was like, this is it. And I know the Nets didn't really have a big guy other than like they don't really have a guy that can go against JD and everything, but that's exactly why you pull out these moves whenever you can, because just to get back into that rhythm. Like this looked like how he looked for the majority of the season, just fun basketball, especially between those two. So I loved everything from Cade tonight. Even his defense, he had 1 steal, but he was staying in front of his guys super well. You could tell he was passionate about it because he was chatting with the ref. So it was great.
Yeah. 313 says 21 points isn't enough for a superstar. It is when you have 15 dimes.
Yeah.
Like, that's a sign of a balanced team when you don't have a guy who needs to average 30 a game for you to win. I'd rather it be this way when it's more spread out, when there's more unpredictability, when you have more weapons, when anybody can go and get it. That's how the Pistons have always won championships. Always. You can have a great player and not a great team. I'd rather have a great player and a great team, right? So 21 points is just fine, especially in 26 minutes because you blew the other team out. You got to keep that in mind too. 26 minutes and 21 points and 15 assists and 2 turnovers. Those are superstar. Those are MVP numbers, period. Straight up.
He only got to the line 3 times. I know he missed 2 of them, but I saw your comment earlier, 313, and you said that he's not the best because he's not Shea. Well, yeah, Shea is obviously an MVP, very good player, but and he just, tied with Wilt for 20 games, most 20-point games consecutively, but there's been a few where I've added up, like take away the free throws and he gets 10 or 12 points. Like
exactly.
Cade, you can never make that argument for. So those are 2 different style players for sure. So I'm like, you're a little tough on your hometown team, 313.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. It's a team game, bro.
Yeah, beautiful. And so it was just super efficient, just super nice
Ridiculous.
game. And obviously, if he played his normal 35, I think he would have had a 30 and 15 at least.
I'm glad he didn't have 20, had 30, because I mean we're in the game. We're not supposed. The game is playing out the way it's not supposed to. And it's a tight game, and we need him to play. So yeah. Glad we didn't have to go that route. He got some rest. He wasn't playing tonight, boss. He wasn't playing tonight, man. He was definitely well rested. You could see he was rested. He had that bounce. Defensively, you could see he was locked in. Even though he didn't have a ton of stocks, he still was just locked in defensively, physical, playing tough, not giving him anything easy. And that stroke is looking good, man. 6 for 9 last game against the Heat from 3, 4 or 5 tonight against, from 3. So his stroke is looking really good. But what stood out to me, boss, and we talked about it a little bit, the scoring is always going to be there. Like, we know he can get a bucket whenever he wants to. But what stood out was the assists. 7 first half assists, 15 for the game. He made a concerted effort to get his guys going early, right? He could have easily sensed that he was hot, that he had it going, and tried to get that superstar level type numbers, right? The 40-point game or whatever. But in a game when you're trying to restore some confidence in your team, in your teammates, and you're playing a bad defensive team, this is the game when you do that. This is the game when you share the wealth. This is the game when you say, Zolar, everybody must eat. And you do it a little bit more than usual, because that's so important to your team's confidence, and you need your team to be able to win games. That's why he can have 21 points and we win by 38, 40 points. That's the whole point. So another thing that he does well too, that I love as a point guard, if you make a defensive play, Cade will absolutely look to reward you on the other side, on the other end of the court, every time. When JD swatted his second block of the half, Cade tried to push the ball to him for a dunk. It wasn't there, but Cade immediately ran a pick and roll to get a lob for JD. Like, he was so intent on making sure he rewarded him and got him that bucket. So I just like how he made a concerted effort once again just to keep his guys engaged as a point guard. That's more important than X's and O's. It's just keeping your guys in the game and understanding flow and having the instincts and the wherewithal to know what we need and when we need it. And in a game like this is a great game, a tune-up game for your other guys to have the confidence going forward, because we're going to need them. So that's why he's a great point guard, man. And that's why guys love playing with him, is because he's so unselfish. If you're not, you can't get 15 assists if you're a selfish player in 26 minutes. You just can't do it. Yeah, exactly, Heisenberg. Positive reinforcement. That is positive reinforcement. Oh, good block. Come on, let's go. I got you. Just get open. Just run. I'm gonna find you, bro. If it ain't there, we'll run something else and I'll find you that way. Like, I just love how he is always trying to get his guys involved and rewarding them for doing what they do best, which is playing defense. Great way to do it. Yeah. Yep. And Sella says, I'll go back to the last comment. Sella says, I remember when Cade was clapping as Stu was locking down. You remember that? Exactly. I forgot who it was. It may have been Desmond Bain or somebody he was like on the island with. And before the play even developed and Stu's on the island, Cade's like this. Yeah, he ain't got nothing coming. And what's Stu do? Help him to a miss. Stu came over, put his arm around it, and said, I got you. And Cade's like, I know. So once again, the positive reinforcement, the leadership, all the intangibles that really don't even have nothing to do with on-court play is what Cade brings, along with the on-court play. MVP level stuff, man. MVP level stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I see you guys all in here too, that Heem is back. Honestly, welcome back. Thanks. This is Knicks fan Heem, and he at least came and braved us when we won.
You must be salty for whoever it is you root for. And I feel for you.
The Knicks are 0-2.
We'll take you over here. Don't worry about it.
Streak falling even further down the line. So that's okay. But thanks for coming.
The Dubs will continue to come.
Showed up when we won too. So that's fine.
The Dubs will continue to come. What up, Tom? What up, though, bro? You know the Pistons won again. Finally, bro. I was just saying, man. I don't know how long. G-Mac Cash probably forgot the words to his song because he ain't had a chance to sing it in so long because we ain't got a dub. Yeah. But that changed tonight for sure. So appreciate you as always, my dog. Boss, anything else okay?
Nope. I'm excited. He's looking good out there, and just like you said, just leading it and getting his team involved too, because he could put up 40 a game. He hasn't had a 50-point game yet and we talked about this in the preseason, because I was like, I could see him having one.
Did he have one against the Wizards when he shot terribly? Was that the only? Did he get to 50 on that game?
No, it wasn't 50. It was like 40.
Was it 50? Okay.
But 50 points. But it's because he shares the ball.
Right.
You know. And that's also why you see Shea, because Shea, I watched him against the Nuggets last night, and he did have a lot of assists as well. But like, that's why you see guys. I mean, Luka's an assister, but like, Luka really also just takes over. When he has 50 points, he doesn't also have 15 assists. But yeah, Cade gets everyone involved. And he's also a hockey assister too. He's moving the ball constantly.
Exactly. Last comment, and we'll go to Sass. Michael says, when Zeke started averaging around 20 and 11 assists, the Pistons were super tough. Yes, they were. That's when Joe Dumars got drafted, and they had another combo guard who could get buckets too. Then they added the defense. Exactly, bro. Zeke got drafted in 81.
Yeah.
And the first few years of his career, he was just getting buckets. And they were losing. They were at the bottom of the conference. And Chuck Daly, Daddy Rich, told him, I mean, look, bro, I know you can score, but if you want to win, like really win meaningful games, you got to get your other guys involved. So Zeke could have averaged 25 for his career easily, but he decided to go the other route, average 20-10 in dubs. And that's exactly what Cade is doing right now. That's the whole point. We're not in first place with a 3.5 cushion lead if Cade is trying to average 30 a game. We're not. The same way Isaiah wasn't getting wins when he was trying to average 25 a game. He wasn't. So the way to win, like Michael Moore is saying, is you have to do it with defense, and you got to do it with sharing the basketball and getting your team involved. Because the more you get them involved, the more they'll want to do what? Play defense.
Yeah.
It's all cyclical. So it's chess, not checkers. So Michael Moore, you get it, bro. You get it, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. With that, we'll go to Marcus Splasher, boss. Tonight, guys, Marcus Sasser in this game finished with 14 points on 5 for 7 overall, 4 or 5 from 3. 3 boards, 1 assist, and a steal, and no turnovers, boss, in 21 minutes. Once again, efficient numbers there. What did you see tonight from Sass, boss?
Oh, he looked confident. He hit his first 3, and then he was just doing the right things. I even he was trying to pass the ball a little too much for me by the time he took his second 3, because then he took his second, and that's when he was really getting going. I mean, you can't ask for better than 5 from 7 after a guy who's been thrown into the starting lineup, and the team's had a rough 2 games with him in there, and then this game he comes out and does this. Also, no turnovers is phenomenal. 4 or 5 from 3, him and Cade. I mean, woo. If Sass is hitting like that, and they had some really nice play. It was one in the second quarter. He leapt for a rebound, and he's small.
I saw that too. Yeah, that was
leapt
nice.
For a rebound, got it up the floor fast, passed it to Cade. Cade passed it back to him at the top of the perimeter, and he made that 3. It was just really pretty, and that's like one of the ones when someone said earlier, like Cade and Sass were fun to watch. That's the play that comes to mind because they were, smiling, high fiving. It was really nice, and Sass knew exactly what to do. He knew where to stop. He knew that Cade would give it back to him if Cade didn't have a clear line to the basket. So, and he had the pressure, that full court pressure. It led to a challenge that ended up getting held up because he was holding on.
Yeah.
But you heard JB, being like, "There you go, Sass." The confidence was just flowing throughout these guys, and he just looked much more like himself. He wasn't over dribbling. Again, no turnovers. Like we only had 8 as a team. But no turnovers, nothing, easy. So, wow, he only recorded 1 assist. That kind of surprises me, but also Cade and Jenkins are basically the only ones to get lots of assists. Kevin Huerter even up to 4. Everyone else got fewer, but the ball was still moving.
That's the key.
That. And
that's
that's
some hockey assists in there too.
That's like the last 2 games he had a couple, or 2 games ago with Levert, there were a couple with him and Levert that went back and forth to each other, and they were able to link to someone else. So, I loved what I saw from him again. Like I think I'm always happy to see him on the court. I would love to see him in the starting lineup if a guard is out, but I still don't understand the certain one. But Stats really just made up for it out there in 20 minutes because he played most of the first. And then a little bit of the second, and then he didn't come in for the third for a while. I was like, oh yeah, there's Sass, but he definitely to do that in 20 minutes is great. I love seeing him out there. He's one of my, like you guys know, he's one of my favorites. So
yeah, for sure. Quick couple comments, and we'll keep going. 313 won't respond to him as far as what we're talking about with the assists and, to points or whatever. He says Cade is a beast, but I don't see him doing what Isaiah. He doesn't have to do what Isaiah did. If he can be a combination of Isaiah and Chauncey, we're good. Right, because Chauncey didn't score a ton of points and have a bunch of assists, but he was just a perfect balance of both. He knew what to do and he knew when to do it as a floor general. That's all we need. That's all we need. If we get that from, and Cade can more than do that. You put those 2 guys together, those 2 NBA legends, and you get Cade Cunningham. So I'm not mad at that at all. Tom says you got to add JB to the belt poll, probably getting that belt as you know what? That's a great point, Tom. I didn't even think about that. They may just throw him the belt. I need to get it my headband too, because I thought he coached a really good game tonight. I got to get my headband because we're supposed to do the headband thing whenever he coaches a good game. Tom, you are correct, bro. I would not be mad, and you could be very well right about him getting the belt with it being his birthday for sure.
Tom knows.
Gumby says Steve Eisenman had no defense, had to go defense and team also to win. Exactly. So all Detroit sports is defense first, man. Mm-hmm. When the Wings were winning their back-to-back cups, I think it was 97, 98. I think that was when they won, pretty sure. But once again, it was always defense first. So you were right, Gumby, for sure. All Detroit team, that's how we get it done, man. Mm-hmm. All right, as far as, let me get to Sas, boss. Let's talk about Sas and what I saw from him in this game. So, let's see. So we talked about it pregame, right? As far as how I thought he was going to bounce back. Because last game, I think he had like 3 points, right? Yeah. 3 points, I think. He didn't really do a ton offensively last game. Mm-hmm. But tonight, I was just watching, not even really the points, because he was really efficient, shot well in short minutes, did a lot of good things. But I was just watching the style. I was watching how he was getting it done. And he was getting it done on both sides. Right? We always talk about how the Pistons offensively, they want ball movement, they want player movement, and how I felt that Sasser's game doesn't really perfectly complement that because he's a half-court player. He's a great one-on-one, half-court, break-it-down scorer. But tonight and recently, he's been playing more with pace, pushing the ball, like you mentioned, off of missed shots, and making quick movements with the ball, like not holding on to it. He's either moving it or he's shooting it, right? Mm-hmm. So I can just definitely tell that Sass is playing, he's just playing differently now. And I think that's allowed him to get more opportunities in ways that really aren't conventional for him. So tonight we saw him coming off pin downs, moving, knocking down shots. We don't usually see that with Sass, right? Yeah. Normally he's breaking his guy down, top of the key, getting to the hoop or what? Going to that patent to step back, right? Yeah. That's usually his thing. So it didn't look perfect, but he looked a lot better on the court because he looked like a cog in the system, as opposed to one guy trying to just go and get it done himself. Mm-hmm. And so that's huge. I think if he keeps that up, he can find himself on the court more often. Maybe not starting, but more often. Yeah. And then defensively too. He's always been a dog, and he was a dog again tonight. Just pressing up, picking up 94 feet, turning guys over in the backcourt. And like you mentioned, sticking his nose in there, skying and grabbing boards as the smallest guy on the court, going up over Nick Claxton and guys, and just to grab the rebound. So I like what I saw from him overall on both sides, but for me, it was just the way he's playing offensively and just playing part of it's like he's learning how to play with this team, and he's learning how to adapt his game to still be effective while playing the style that we want to play, and that's really important for him.
Well, it's like someone brought up earlier that he reminded them of the microwave, which is what Lookahead has said in the past few seasons, because we did rely on him basically off the bench to like heat up and he'd come in. And now he's getting a little bit more responsibility in being able to play make and ball handle and find other shots. And I like what Mecklemore says here. She says, go ahead. My bad. You have to be unpredictable offensively. And I agree with that. And a plus side is we were just talking about how people have tape on Daniss Jenkins now. And Sass has been with us enough that people should have tape on him, but not enough this season. Like if he gets in a rhythm with this team, and we can also throw him in the lineup when needed, and he can fit flawlessly with Cade and Jenkins, which we know that he can. That's just another guy that they have to study and be prepared for and don't get a break from. So especially, like, obviously 4 or 5 threes is fantastic. I mean, if he can just come in and put in 2 or 3 threes for us like he's done in the previous years, that would be extremely helpful for some of our offensive woes, but also the fact that he's not just that anymore. He's also doing other things for us. Is kind of just like you said, it just adjusted to the system because it's JB's system. Like, you need to be able, we've seen Duncan adapt to it, not only on the defense, but off ball movement. We heard JB yell today that guys need to move. It was been Paul Reed at all, actually. And Paul Reed just was aggressive. We'll get to him. So he didn't mind. I don't think he didn't mind having to create his own offense, but
not at all.
It was stagnant. And JB, it's the last 5 minutes. He's telling them to move because this is what he expects you to do. And that's why the ball game also looked good. So I do agree with that. And like what you said too is, I do hope we still continue to see him even when Asar's back and healthy and we have our regular starting lineup, because maybe it just took these 2 games of us also being off as a team. But like, as soon as we're on, he's on too. So
if he's playing like this, he can definitely help us, because the talent is not the issue. It's never been the issue. It's kind of like why I was trying to find a silver lining with the Jaden Ivey Huerter trade. It's like, maybe you're looking for a guy who may not be as talented, but who kind of fits what the Pistons want to do with their off-ball movement, player movement, defense, things like that. Just the little things, being a small cog in the system, right? That's kind of why I think if Sas keeps this up, once again, playing to the system, and he can still incorporate his talent offensively with that, then he deserves that. I want to get to some quick comments, boss, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Aaron says, hopefully the Lions one day will get them defensive memo. Feel you on that, bro. Gumby says 97, 98, 2001 for Stevie Y. Okay, they lost to the Devils. Yeah, they did. They got swept by the Devils, and that was hard to watch. I remember watching it. That sucked. Wings won later in 08. That was with, was that when Hasha came back as goalie? I believe. I know a little bit of Red Wing stuff. I'll be plugged in. And then 313 says MPJ shoots every shot that comes his way, and he ain't a superstar because he chucks bad shots up, even if some fall. So if you have nothing else on Sas, did you have any comments about MPJ in this game? We talked about him last game. A lot of the same tonight, but what did you see from MPJ in this game?
Well, first, real quick, I just also want to say with Sas, it's why I've been so excited that we've been able to retain him, because he's every offseason since we've had him, I've been like, oh, he's so good. He's probably going to go somewhere else because other teams need him and we don't play him as much. Right. So I'm really grateful for what we're seeing now, because who knows what this offseason brings. But that's, he's that good of a player that he's going to have a great career no matter what. But
for sure.
MPJ, I will say, so he shot 50% tonight. He started off hot again, just like last game, but he does shoot everything. And I just want to say he got 3 fouls in a minute and a half.
Wow. Great defense.
Yeah. So, and he had some bad assist looks, and he was their lead scorer tonight. Like, the appeal for MPJ, but again, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, that's all he's supposed to do. That they don't care that he's shooting threes, because that's what they basically had with Cam Thomas too. Like, they know that they don't have enough guys to develop. They're kind of in a place right now where I'm like, I don't know their vision as a team. I don't understand it. I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know what they're doing.
But yeah, so you guys know I dislike MPJ for multiple reasons, but if you just look at his box score and you say, okay, again, the lead scorer, shot 50%, like, not bad, but everything else is bad.
1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, 1 of 6 from 3, and then just they also didn't get the ball to him a lot in the second quarter because the defense changed. Duncan wasn't the assignment anymore. Wu did great on him. Ron did great on him. So if he doesn't have the ball, he's kind of useless out there.
Right. So, and to your point, like, as far as the usage, you just said it, he has the ball a lot. And to have 1 assist and 3 turnovers as the guy with the ball in your hands more than anybody is not a good look. And especially for a team who we just talked about wants to move the basketball. He'd be a ball stopper.
Yep. And once you get in rhythm, he doesn't find it again. Like we saw, he had the first 9 points of the game, and then everything else, that it was off the front or off the back. So I will always be critical of MPJ because I don't understand the desire for him, especially when he's in a system that, of course, he's having a fantastic year, and I am happy for him. But he can't just be like it when he's thrown into true team ball, which is now the Nets have. It's different. So
not I'll be sure Heisenberg. I'm dead. That's hilarious. Last game, pretty boy vibes, bro. That's what you're saying. Oh man. All right, man. Anything else on Sas, boss?
That is all. Just happy for him, and it just had to be a good. Like I said, he just looked confident, so it had to be a good booster for him going forward as well, because we don't know how long. Like you said, Asar will be out, and it seems like this is going to be the starting lineup if it's what has been kept over the last 3 games. So
I mean, y'all know how I feel about. We'll get to it, but Duncan the 3. We'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like, we'll see, because like at this point, I really want to see. To be honest, I want to see how far this can go with Sas, as far as is he going to still be on this team. I kind of want him to be able to convince everybody that he deserves to still be on this team, despite never having played, for obvious reasons. We talked about it as far as the fit. I want him to get a chance to be able to show that he deserves to be here and he can have a consistent role playing our style. So, like, on one hand, I'm like, I don't want Duncan to 3 at all. I do not want to see it. But the only way to get Sas at starting is to have Duncan at the 3. So I'm like,
right. That's what we talked. It's not Sas in the starting lineup. It's the fact that he's not in for Duncan or anything. It's the fact that they had to Duncan to the 3.
Exactly.
So that is, it's nothing to do with Sas. It's more like if it was Duncan that needed time off, and then, even if Asar was out, then you would Sas at a guard and then bring in someone else too, or Asar. But
like, if it's this, Lily, if we get this and Sas is still back there with Cade, okay, cool. I just don't know if they're gonna sit Dunk. I just don't know if they're gonna sit Dunk.
I had my theory too a little bit, and this might just hold absolutely no water. I'm just looking for a reason why, but because Duncan started on MPJ again too. Yep. When the best player is their 3, and then you move your kind of worst defender to that spot, maybe it's just a little bit of a challenge for when playoffs come and defense is going to need to be constant. Like maybe it's just a little bit of challenge to Duncan to play against a guy who is going to take the shot every time. So that
I feel it. It's just I would rather be all right, Duncan. We ain't gonna let you off the hook because our best player is at the 2.
Right,
but to move him to the 3 and the best player is there is where I'm like, huh? Because he ain't played there all year. I feel what you're saying, like challenging him, but it's just like I would have rather to see that challenge if they were playing against a team who had a really good shoot, like the T-Wolves. If you're like, all right, Dunk, you got a tough matchup. We ain't gonna move you off of Ant-Man. You got to go get it. We ain't gonna hide you. But to move him up to the 3 when he's played the 2 all year and their best players at the 3 is like, I don't know about that one. But that's why I'm not coach.
I can see it. But I think maybe that might have just been a little bit of a factor because also when you think about the 2 with Ant and you think about everyone around him, you're like, well, those guys also need to be defended well. When you think of the starting lineup,
it's not a perfect comparison. It's not a perfect comparison.
But I was thinking that could be just a little, or not even a factor, but like something they were like, oh yeah, and this will help Duncan, kind of thing. So
okay,
because I think
if it does, I ain't mad. If it does, honestly, and we're not losing and the rotation's not thrown off as a result of it. Okay, I'm cool with it. And Sass gets a chance to play. Cool. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, boss. We'll leave it there on Sass. Let's go to Duncan Robinson. Nice little segue for him tonight, guys. Duncan Robinson had 15 points on 6 for 6 shooting. Welcome back, bro. On 3 for 3 from 3. Wow. Say that 3 times fast. 3 boards, 1 assist in 16 minutes, boss. Take off on Dunk. What'd you see? What'd you like?
Wow. Our starting lineup, I mean, Tobias was off, and I'll give it to him because he's been so on for us in clutch moments. But like 100% field goal, 90% field goal, 80% field goal, 71%. That's crazy. Like,
and then like 20% field goal.
Tobias. But yeah, so Dunk, honestly, wow, he only played 16 minutes.
Yeah.
I was actually I felt like I noticed him more than I noticed Tobias, who played 22. But Duncan's hit the first shot of the game, our first possession. Yep. We won the jump ball. He hit a 3. I was like, here we go. Because this is, again, someone who's been in a little – when we're all slumping, we're all slumping. So you told me you wanted Sass to have a great game, and I was like, and it's a great opportunity for Jenkins to get going and Duncan, and they all did. Yep. So yeah, the shooting was incredible. Obviously, the off-ball movement was great. No turnovers. He only had 3 fouls, and 2 of them were early. One of them was on MPJ. Because that's what got him into foul trouble last game, too, which is another reation we kind of questioned it. Because he got into foul trouble with MPJ quickly.
Really? 3 fouls in the first quarter, I think, right? Last game?
Yeah.
Last time they played?
He actually ended up playing more that game than he did tonight. Yep. But again, he got to rest in the 4th, too. So, obviously, I loved what I saw from Duncan. He was pulling up threes confidently. Obviously, he made 3 for 3, which you would like to see him get more, but he had some great cuts to the basket. He was just reading the offense well.
He did.
6 for 6.
Nice look away passes, secondary playmaking. Yeah, he did some good stuff. Yep.
He did great. 2 defensive rebounds and 1 offensive. So 3 rebounds, but again, it wasn't a heavy rebound game. So 0 complaints from Duncan, and I'm glad that he found his groove tonight in every way he scored.
I agree. I don't have any negative notes on Duncan tonight, except I want to see more than 3 attempts. That's literally it. And that's all I'm not even going to harp on that because he didn't miss a shot tonight.
And
so I'm not even going to get on him. I want to see more. I'm like, and that's not criticism. It's encouragement. Like, get up more, bro. Get up in a game like this. It didn't matter. But like you're saying, as we're getting ready for the playoffs defensively, getting into a rhythm defensively, challenging him defensively, I would challenge him offensively. Take more shots.
Yeah.
Take more shots. Or at least get him more touches so he can make more plays. Like he did tonight. He had a few passes out of the picking. It was the DHO. They would come to him. It was like the K pass, the look away K pass for the lob or whatever. You would see him looking guys off and making a nice Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes type of look away pass, and it was on target. It was nice. So his reads are good. So I just want to see him get more shots. Just be more of a threat. Make guys really have to sprint to you every time you touch it. So that way we can have more optionality offensively. But that's it. That's all I got.
And I agree. I completely agree. I think especially if he played more minutes, it'd be more of an argument. But
that's true too. That's true.
Two of his field goals that weren't threes, he was like pretty open at the 3-point line and just decided to take it straight in. So I think he could have, and then he was just I don't know. He was in the zone tonight, so I trust it. But yeah, I would like to see, Sass took 5, Cade took 5, Ron took 6. Get to Ron's level.
I'm not mad. Yeah, right. For sure.
Mad at it, but 6. But also again for only the short time he has, we usually see 6 or 7 attempts from him, maybe 8 on the higher end overall when he plays full starter minutes. So yeah, maybe in these minutes you might want to see 4 or 5 go up, but 60 minutes, 6 for 6, I'm cool. 3 or 3.
Yeah, it's funny. Where is it at? Somebody said that they love this Pistons team. Oh yeah, Dre says Pistons are a young team, man. I'm older than the whole team. Hey, for me, it ain't no I believe. It's for sure. Yeah, I know how you feel, bro.
I got one person. One here. I got one person.
That you're younger than? Who?
Tobias.
That you're older than?
No, Tobias is younger. Tobias is 32, right?
Yes.
You were the same age.
32 or 33. One of the two. But I think you are younger than him, yeah.
Or we're the same age. And then Woo is 1 year younger than me, which is crazy.
That's crazy. Hey, I'm younger than the coaching staff. Does that count? I'm younger than JB.
When I said that JB was 47, I didn't think JB was old, but I was like, dang, I've got friends who are 47,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, but his point is taken. This is a young team, man. That's why it's no reason to rush.
Mm-hmm.
No reason to rush, man. Everything will happen when it's supposed to in steps. Mm-hmm. What up, Chris? I need your saying tonight, bro. What you got, man? Mr. Who and Mr. What, Mr. Why? Let me know. Let me know. Fat Kism, I always mess that name up. Fat Kism said, this is great time to get guys going to see who was going to be part of the rotation come playoffs. Mm-hmm. I agree. Doug says, I'm his own franchise. Guys, Doug has been around since the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, watching this team, man. OG of the community is Doug McMiniman. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, Doug, for sure. You done seen more Pistons basketball than all of us here in this chat. Shout out to you, man. Boss. Let's go to Tobias Harris, who we just talked about briefly. Tonight, guys, Tobias Harris had 2 points on 1 for 5 shooting, all 3 from 3, 2 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover in 22 minutes. What did you see from Uncle T, who looked a little bit uncle tonight? What'd you see?
Yeah, well, like I said, all of them scored in the first 4 minutes of the game, so that was his only basket, and then he took 1 more field goal and then 3 threes. It didn't go in, but you can usually rely on that corner 3, and it's not like they were way off or anything. It was just he was the only one not hitting shots early, and then we didn't see him pull up a lot later on. He was just kind of there to help with spacing, help with the young guys on the court. I was actually kind of surprised, I think, because in the first they brought in Stu for Tobias, and we saw Duren and Stu together, and then Duren got fouled. Or Duren fouled and needed to come out with 2 fouls, and they brought Tobias right back in. I was kind of like,
oh, okay.
Because they sat him for Stu, and then when Duren had to go out 2 possessions later, instead of bringing in Blue or Ron, they just brought in Tobias back. I was like, interesting. Why? I just thought it was curious. You don't see that a lot. You don't see a guy go out and have to come right back in. Usually
unless Larry Brown is coaching you and you miss an assignment. He'll sit you down and put you right back in.
Or it's Tom Thibodeau, who only knows how to play 6 people in a rotation. But yeah, so no, he's the only one I had no notes for. So just a stinker from him, but not in he wasn't detrimental to the team. He just couldn't get a shot going and didn't do anything necessarily bad. He had 1 turnover of our 8. So he'll be fine. I'm excited for him. He usually pops off against his teams, like we saw him do with the Magic, and we get to see him against the Sixers in 2 days. So he'll saving it all for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he had a bad game. It was it was just a quiet game because he didn't take a ton of shots. He took 5 shots. He just didn't make a ton of them. In a game like this, it really didn't hurt us because we got so many contributions elsewhere. So if he's gonna have a bad game, you want it to be a game like this when it doesn't matter. I don't expect him to have too many stinkers like this going forward, where he has 2 points in 22 minutes and he's one of our best scorers on the team. I'm not expecting that to continue. So I'm not worried about it. I just have from my notes, meh. That's literally all I have in my notes for.
We did have a good. His 1 turnover too was that throw. That full court throw to JD. So it wasn't he lost it in the it was just.
It was a little careless, but I know he was trying to do. But.
It was Tobias style-esque lobs.
Probably
the longest we've seen him take this season. So, but I do want to say we did get out, like you said, a lot on the fast break and move the ball faster, which we know Tobias does better when the game is a little bit slower for us. He has his strengths in those games, obviously.
Right.
So that's another reason why, he wasn't necessarily putting up shots or they weren't falling. It's just because other guys were just a little faster than him. So.
It was a game where he could chill because we got Ryan was playing well. Javonte had his, so it's like, okay, y'all go ahead. Save me for another game when y'all need me, kind of thing. So not gonna always be able to do that. Not gonna be able to do it a lot as we get close to the playoffs, but for now, it's cool. It's cool. He's been good for us most of this year. Devin says, what up, though? Glad we got back on a winning streak. Let's keep this momentum going and get back to our old ways. Yeah, it's a great first step, bro. Great first step. So we'll see how this team continues to move forward. But I agree, Devin. All right, boss. That's all I got for Uncle T. Let's go now to JD, guys. Jalen Duren finished with 26 points on 9 for 10 shooting, 8 for 10 from the free throw line, which I love. Right in that area I want to see him at. I know he can do it. 8 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers. 2 steals and 2 blocks, boss, for 4 stocks. All that in 23 minutes. What did you see tonight from JD?
Man, his only miss was the dunk attempt.
Yeah.
The one-handed dunk. I mean, that would have the dunks that he went for today. I'm like, again, do it against this team. All it's doing is building these guys' confidence. This is what I wanted to see from them 2 days ago, where it's like, don't play down to your competition. Go do what you do. And if they can't, if they're not good enough to stop it, then that's how it is. He had so many great plays. He was just attacking the basket constantly. He had a block and then an one on the other end of the floor.
Right.
He had a lob to Cade. He had an assist.
Did he have one to Cade?
One of Cade's dunk was a lob from the top from JD.
Right.
So
okay.
A little bit. I really loved in the third his little underhand scoop and score. So, that's been a little bit after his missed dunk. He had again some really great finishes and at other times. And my favorite dunk of the night was the one of that Cade passed it behind him and he came flying in because I didn't see him. Like sometimes I watch the guys so much and I'm just like, what happened? And then it computes as it comes in. I was like, did he lose the ball? Like I didn't see it go up. And then you see JD right behind him. Like that was nice. So that's
why he missed that next one. He got carried away trying to get that next.
I
loved it too.
Well, because then Kevin Huerter threw it into him too on an inbound and he got fouled. So it didn't count as a miss, but that was a near dunk too. But he looked powerful tonight. And it's funny because I expected him to have a double-double, but like I said, it wasn't a heavy rebound night because shots were going in. Like and everybody basically almost more than half the team got over 3 or more rebounds tonight. That's awesome.
That's good.
So, and I mean, Duren only got 4, which is tied for the second most with Green and Reed, and then Stu had 8. So, like I said, not a rebound heavy night, but the rim presence was there. I'm curious, what did Claxton do tonight? Claxton only had 2 points.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
He had 4 rebounds, so he tied JD there, but
that's what I'm talking about.
26-2. Let's go. I mean, and I don't think, especially today, I think if Duran Sharp was playing, he would still, I think it's Dayron. It's Duran.
Dayron, he would have.
Dayron Nets. Okay.
Too.
Yes, but he would have just done the same thing. He just didn't care who was underneath him or at the rim. He just drove it and dunked it. He looked great. And again, the two steals and 2 blocks. One was the passing lane steal. It was awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's get to some quick comments and then I'll give you my thoughts on JD. Let's see. First of all, Gummy says Rick Carlisle got Pistons up to 50 wins. Yes, he did. Did it in back-to-back seasons, bro. 50 and 32. Let's see. Mike says Duren would have had 30 plus points if this game was at all competitive. That is a fact. Yes. Him and Cade would have had probably combined 70 or 60 at least.
Played 23 minutes, under 23 minutes.
Efficient basketball for sure. Phantom says, which stat line is more impressive? Chaz on near 3 points and 1 and 2, or Bam's 83.3? I would say Chaz. Man.
More efficient.
That's funny. And the Heisenberg says JD looked like Dr. J on that school. That was nice, bro. Wasn't it nice? Yeah, that was pretty.
He can't do that a lot because usually the paint's clogged around him. But to do that and have the touch, it went a little bit high up. Like it looked like a Ron move. Like Ron's been showing him what to do at the rim if he doesn't just want to make it easy. He wants to make it pretty.
Yeah.
The touch was nice.
By the way, I love all the comments about when you guys started being fans. I'm seeing
Yeah.
some. Been a fan since Dave Bing, Bob Lanier. Man, y'all making me feel young out here.
I've been rooting for the Pistons since Cade got drafted.
So Cade got drafted.
But we're here.
98. Saw the 04 build. Yeah, y'all keep pushing those comments of when you guys started watching. I started watching, boss, real quick. I started watching in 89 as a 3-year-old in my dad's lap, watching Isaiah and them boys get that first chip. Right. I'll never forget that. So when did you start watching? What year if you remember, did you start watching, boss?
It was 03, 04. Yeah.
Okay.
So we both started watching in championship teams, and our teams just took us in, and we were like, these teams are great. And then they stayed hot, and then they had big fall offs in between. And then big fall-offs. But guess what, guys? Around the stay hot, it's almost like a 20-year, 15, 20-year difference between some stuff. So we're back up. It's a cycle.
It's all cyclical, man. It's all cyclical. Juan 84, Doug 63, Grant Hill. So we can't get to all of them, but I want to get you guys. Want to show y'all some love, man.
Some of you, I just want to say real quick. Again, we can't get to all of you, but if some of you have some role players that you liked from those eras that you just want to teach us about, because I was talking to Juice. I watched an NBA Classic game, a Celtics Pistons Eastern semifinal, I think, playoff game.
What year was it? Like
1985.
85.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it was semifinal.
Maybe semi. Okay.
Semifinal. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I told you about this. Like this guy Roundfield. I was like Dan Roundfield.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, this guy, he won us the game. He looked great. And you were like, that doesn't sound familiar. But I was like, okay, because I didn't know who he was. So I'm just curious. I love some deep pulls like that. So now I know that he played for us. I never knew it before. So.
It is just dope, man. I'm seeing a lot of comments in here when you guys started watching. I'm seeing a lot like pre-2000s, which is cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to y'all, man. So we deserve this as Pistons fans. We deserve for this team to be playing well because we experienced some peaks and some real valleys for sure. So it's good to be back on top, at least for right now, and hopefully in the future. So let's keep it pushing, boss. Let's see. Yeah, for JD, this was so refreshing for me, boss. He saw Nick Claxton and those guys and Noah Clowney, and he saw food. He saw food. He saw a meal waiting for him, barbecue chicken, however you want to put it. He saw it. He saw food waiting for him. And that's what he should do. Whenever he lines up against guys like Nick Claxton, Noah Clowney, anybody who is not strong or athletic or both, he needs to go at them the same way he did tonight. Because when he locks in and makes up his mind, 90% of the bigs in the league cannot guard him. They cannot contain him. They can't keep him off the boards. They can't keep him out of the paint. They can't, reach him in the air. They can't match him in the air. They just don't have that combination of what he has. And so that's why I just want to see him continue to treat all these guys like food, man. Like they can't mess with you, bro. So it was just nice to see him just really impose his will, play angry, and show them like, man, y'all can't guard me, bro. And he did that. And then defensively, he was locked in too. Like, he did a really good job of just moving his feet on the perimeter, on switches, moving those puppies, guarding the drive all the way to the rim and smacking out the glass. Give me that. Like he was literally doing. I was loving it. I was loving it. Defensively, he's getting much better, and we're talking more and more when we get into the box scores that rhyme not to play the game about his stocks, his blocks and his steals. Early in this year, and really last year, but early this season, I would get to the rebounds, assists. And I would get to the steals and blocks, and it's like in 30 minutes, and they would have nothing to say. But now it's like 2 blocks, 2. I'm still going. So it's just like he's consistently now making an impact on the defensive side of the basketball. Consistently now, that two-way play we talk about. And once again, you got a point guard like Cade who's going to reward you for doing that. It makes you even more so want to go and do it. But without that, shout out to him for locking in on his own on that side of the ball, because he's really been really impactful for us defensively, and it's really been big for us for sure.
Well, that's, you guys know me as if, I've had my criticisms of JD's defense. But this is what I want to see. Like he's been, like you just said, he's been, especially the second half of the season, just been consistently recording those stocks, being more confident on both ends. I would say he even has just picked it up in the last month in terms of being able to time a block and to get the block and to be there and to bother it. Not just, stand at the rim and try to not get a 3 seconds or anything. Like, he's moving around, he's finding the guys, he's figuring out what he needs to do. So And to have that improvement in a short time, the ceiling is it's just going to get better.
Sure.
But I do agree with you, because this is, again, what I wanted last time is JD specifically has a tendency to play down to who he's going against. He plays great against superstars. We know that. He plays great against just good bigs. And so to see him look, not play down and be like, yeah, I'm here. This is what you get. I'm not going to go soft. I'm not going to assume that it'll be easy. I'm just going to take it hard. Like you were Giannis or something, like he just definitely had played much better. And again, when they stack these together in a game, then it helps us stack those games together, like when these types of games together. So he has an assignment. He won't have Embiid on Thursday, but he will have Drummond. And Bona has always, he's never been a problem for us, but they both got into foul troubles against each other. So,
and Dre gets up against the Pistons too, low key.
And Drummond can shoot threes now. So
right.
Another thing is, you mentioned his perimeter defense was better tonight. It's going to have to be on Thursday as well. So I'm excited to see.
Guys are going to have to stay in front too, so he's not always having to pack the paint and then try to get out there. But go ahead.
Drummond is, he's wider, heavier.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So
sure.
So JD's going to, not only go against that, which we know he can do, but also defend that. And it's going to be a fun matchup. I'm excited for that one for sure.
I agree. But you're right. It's just not only getting up, treating each game as if it is a measuring stick game. Because you mentioned the Giannis's of the world, the Embiids, all these guys, the Jokic's, the Wembys. Like I've never seen him lay an egg against those guys. Like last year, he wasn't laying eggs against those guys because he was bringing it. He was bringing it all, right?
Yep.
So, but we have seen him at times play down to guys who were not at that level. So I just need him to kind of, and not saying he won't, but just treat every game as if it is a measuring stick game. Bring that chip every single game because we're going to need that come playoff time. Heisenberg is hilarious. He calls him Zeus. So he descended from Mount Olympus and hit them with the thunder and lightning tonight. Are you a Marvel fan, bro? You a Thor fan? It sounds like you might be a Thor fan with the Zeus comment there. Let me know. But I agree with you, man. He's been balling, but defensively he's been great. 313 real quick says Lindsey Hunter was a Pistons legend. Yes, he was, bro. Yes, he was. We had him on the show a few months ago, a few times. You guys can check those out on our channel. But he's got some great stories, some great Piston stories with Rasheed Wallace and
listen to his podcast too.
Yes, exactly. The crossover podcast.
Yeah,
make sure y'all go check them out. Go subscribe to the crossover podcast. They got some great content. Him, Tim Hardaway Sr., his son Lindsey, Caleb Hunter. So check it out. Good stuff, man, for sure. But Lindsey, that's my guy. That's our guy for sure. All right, man, boss. Let's go to some reserves on this in this game, and let's start with who we want to start with. Let's start with Tink. Start with Daniss Jenkins tonight, guys. Tonight, Daniss Jenkins finished with 14 points, 4-10 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. That's what I'm talking about. 3 boards, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, and 4. He had 5 steals. They have 4 here. Didn't he have 5?
He had 6. I counted 6.
Did he have 6? Okay, he did have 6. He got one at the very end. 6 steals.
Yeah,
for Daniss Jenkins. You're right.
NBA still has it as 5 for me, so I'm wondering if the second one was technically a block and then a steal. But he doesn't have a block registered, so I don't know. But he definitely, I counted 6, so I think that should be upgraded. We'll give him that, or we can just split the difference and call it 5. But okay.
Yeah.
The worst thing about Daniss tonight was just that he was 4 of 10, only because I know that he can be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I can say. I can't say anything else negative because he found his shot again. He hit his first shot attempt, which was a 3 at the end of the first. The one thing, he had 3 turnovers in a row.
Was it 3? I thought it was 2. He had 3 in a row. So all 3 of his turnovers were back to back to back.
Yeah, unless the third one was Sass, because I didn't think Okay, so maybe I don't know if they counted that as him, but
he had 2 bad ones, like back to back,
and then we turned it over again. And I just saw Daniss was dribbling the ball, so maybe it was Sass. But yeah, so that was the only, he's not. That's not something that's the norm for him, and the way he's been playing isn't the norm for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he made up for it in every other area. 6 assists, second to Cade's 15, which is exactly what you want from your backup point guard, is to also be the guy who's, second at assisting and playmaking. I really loved. He had a really nice assist to the Javonte Green jam in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I love that in the last like 2 minutes, Jenkins and Paul Reed were like arguing with the refs. Like they were fired up. Those two, and I think Jenkins, like, they were playing good. They love that they're winning. They were feeling good. They don't want to go back to this not only the struggling before the 4-game losing streak, but then the 4-game losing streak. Like, they want to go out. So they, they're passionate. And so I just love that they're arguing up, almost 40 in the last few minutes.
Every possession matters.
Exactly. Yeah. Jenkins was also being coached up by JB the whole game. I mean, the defense was incredible. He got knockaways. He got in passing lanes. He just, again, really looked like himself. And in true Daniss, you would see no turnovers and maybe 7 of 10 for a 20 point like that. But this is just remarkable. This is what we wanted from him after just a struggle bus since deadline. So excited. He and it's always exciting when he's on the floor. He just moves the ball so well, moves his body so well. It was great.
Yeah. He looked good tonight. He looked like the Daniss Jenkins I expect to see all season long. He's had a slump. The team's had a slump. It happens. No panic. He looked good. He looked like he was much more in sync with his guys. There was much more camaraderie on both sides. Wasn't as many miscommunications with guys as much. Just looked much more comfortable, much more rhythm. And he was just playing his game. He was doing a good job just knocking down shots, diming guys up, making good decisions for the most part. He had that one stretch you mentioned, the turnovers, and it's like, bro, what's going on? But just a bad stretch of a minute where he just didn't like bounce, just losing the ball, stuff like that. So that wasn't good. But aside from that, I thought he played solid. He was really looking to push the pace. Did a good job. He was pushing it every opportunity he could, just pushing the ball, finding guys. And he had some nice passes. He had one nice look-away pass in the corner to Javonte. He didn't hit the shot, but it was a beautiful pass. And he was doing that for most of the game, just diming guys up. He should have close to, in my opinion, like 8 or 9 assists in this game, man. He had some passes that guys just could not convert on. Like, it's our shooting. It's our shooting again. Like, he shot better than usual, but it was a lot of meat left on the bone because of just how many points we left on the table just because guys couldn't knock down shots off of really nice passes that he had.
It's one of the nights that our starting lineup outperformed our bench, and I think that plays a role. Like, our bench did, everyone scored that played today, but like besides Jenkins, Ron had 16, the highest off the bench, and everyone else had 8 or less. So other
than Tobias, the starters really, you felt outplayed the bench tonight.
In terms of scoring, like 4 of them scored in double digits. So I think it was just who Jenkins was on the floor with. Because like you said, we shot a lot better. Obviously, we shot 56% as a team overall, 57%. But I think just with some some passes to Huerter, who wasn't hitting his threes early, some to Wu, who had a couple misses. So just little things like that, but still feeding the team to get those guys going, who did obviously both eventually score and get points on the board for us. So
it's just being a spark plug though, like just bringing that burst of energy off the bench because. We know Cade is ethical. He's a smooth operator, right? He's got some athleticism. He can get up and down, north and south, but he's more processing the game and letting the game come to him and finding his guys and getting it done that way. And Tink is the opposite. Like he's speedy. He's fast. He's pushing the ball. He's getting up and down the court quickly. He's being a pest and a dog defensively. Like the kind of plays that Ron makes. I think about Daniss, except he's actually also the floor general. He's also got the point guard responsibility. So he does a lot of the same things that Ron does as far as making heady plays, turning guys over, blocking shots, things like that. Exactly. Yeah. A lot of things that Zeke does. I'm not saying he's Zeke, but just bringing the speed, bringing the
herky jerky, a little bit of stop and go.
Shifty, very shifty, very fast, can finish at the rim, things like that. So that's what I expect to see from him going forward. He was in the funk, didn't play well, but if we get this kind of production from him, starting with the defense though, which he brings every game, regardless of because like we've never came away saying, man, he was getting cooked all game. Like we're not saying that about Daniss Jenkins, even in games when he's not facilitating well or turning the ball over at times or not shooting well. The defense has always kind of been there. So if we can kind of get this production from him offensively, which I expect to go along with the defense, he's going to be the player we were all hoping the Pistons would sign through the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he definitely, because we talked about it too, is a reason that we do need him to be a little bit back in his original form that he played this season is because it helps just the defense collapse on him if needed. And so that's what I liked a lot about him because he would bring the ball up and he would make a play at the top. But if he was going fast, you didn't know what he was going to do. You didn't know if he was going to go to the rim. You didn't know if he was going to stop and pull up. You didn't know if he was going to stop and find the open guy. So it made it very hard to defend anybody on those fast breaks when Daniss got those steals, because you didn't know the way he was moving. None of us really knew what his decision would be, because he could beat those guys to the basket, or he could pass it out to a guy because no one's on him. So
I agree. Yeah, so good game from Tink, man. I want to see more. I'm confident we're going to see more. I think that slump is behind him, boss. So looking forward to seeing what he does going forward.
All right, guys. A break real quick. Do you want to check the poll?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, do your thing. Guys, let's check the poll. I have an idea of where this is going. But we've got Cade at 50%, 52% for the belt. I should have put JB on here. I didn't even think about that. Would have been his birthday. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got it. But Cade at 52%, JD at 23%, Duncan Sass at 19%, and Ron and Tink at 7%. So while we're waiting, guys, do you guys have a favorite Pistons moment from this season? Let me know if you guys have a favorite Pistons moment from this season. It's a few you could choose from. There isn't a wrong answer. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on what you guys think that could be. Abraham says Daniss needs to add a floater to his bag. He's got it. We just haven't really seen it. He has it, though. I want to see more of that. I want to see him getting more into the mid-range game a little bit more. He's got it. We just haven't really seen it much, but hopefully they do make that adjustment. Devin says, got to get the W or for coach's birthday, for sure. I was asking everybody what their favorite Pistons moment of the season was. And maybe we can get back to that after we finish all the box scores.
Okay.
But you guys, just think about it, guys. Let me know what you guys' favorite moment of the season was, and we can get back to that at the end of the season.
I have two in my head already, so.
Okay, save them. Save them for after. We'll come back to that for sure.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's get this more bench, guys. Let's go to Kevin. What is that, Velvet? Huerter. Tonight, guys, Kevin Huerter finished with 7 points on 3 for 8 shooting overall, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 boards, 4 assists, which is third on the team tonight. 4 assists is good for him, and no turnovers, which is also good. In 22 minutes. I think this may be the most minutes I've seen him play this year. So what'd you see from Huerter tonight, boss?
You know, it's kind of funny because there were moments where I thought he dribbled it too much. I was like, you pull up and shoot that. And that, I know that is a common critique of LeVert, who Huerter, basically stepped in for tonight. So there's just a couple moments that I was like, Kevin, like, you can shoot it. You shoot it. But I think it was just more again, just trying to help the team out, which he did end up trusting his shot a little bit more later on, even though they weren't falling at first. But when he did drive, he got a few of his own misses, which I love. I love a follow the ball, stay for the offensive rebound, fight for it. So he got at least 2 baskets off of his own misses, which was nice, just staying aggressive. He had really good defense on Danny Wolf drive towards the end of he was driven all the way to the basket, and he just stayed in front of him. It really well. How many fouls did he have? He only had 2 fouls, and I felt like he was playing very good defense. He was up close to guys. He closed out fast. He also had an assist to the JD dunk, one of the JD dunks in the third. Yeah, he looks good out there. I like they call him Big Red is what they were calling him. Big Red or Kev. I heard Kev a lot. Kev, you take it out.
Heisenberg says calls him Cousin K on the screen.
I love it. So I just did appreciate, and we saw minutes with him and Duncan together on the floor, which we said that surprised us, but has worked so far. So he's definitely. He went 3 of 8, 1 from 4 from 3. He hit one of his last threes. His hustle is fantastic, and we all hope that his 3-point shooting can come back to what it was a couple seasons ago, but to just see him make one tonight and make one, I don't know, not the last game, but the game before, I think he had a couple that just, gives me hope that, he's still gonna, he's not completely off. It's just finding the rhythm. Like I said, the other 2 baskets he had were off of just his own misses and staying aggressive. So definitely A+ for aggressiveness, effort, all those minutes out there. The spacing is great. The movement, I think Ron had a great cut to the basket, and it was because Kevin moved to the top of the key to give Ron the space and bring that defender with him. So he's not just standing there, waiting for a shot or anything. He's been great that way and just physical. So yeah, definitely, the stat line isn't super impressive, but 4 assists says enough. And then I think if you watched his game, there's really nothing to complain about.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought he played very solid. Very solid in this game. He does a lot of little things. We don't often see our guards getting putbacks on their own shots, right? We see usually we see Cade at times, but we don't usually see Dunk or Harris like following their shot and getting a putback. We usually see Sasser doing that. We see Ron doing that, and of course our bigs, right? But not our guards. So it was just nice to see him. He encourages, follow your shot. Of course, you don't want to get caught, with guys leaking out, but I just like how he's able to follow his shot, and just because we don't see that too often with our guards.
Right.
I think that's a good thing that we see.
One of my favorite things, is when NBA players do that. I think Tyrese Maxey is one of them as well. Just really good, or at least reading the shot to know where to go, track the rebound, the long rebounds.
Right.
I love that.
But yeah, like you mentioned, some individual plays. Yeah, he made. There was some more that I saw that you may have said it, but the nice drive and kick he made to Daniss, that was a nice play, right? Just the simple basketball play, right? To get Daniss that 3-ball. He had a dime for JD. He was either off a pick and roll or a DHO, but once again, he just found JD rolling and threw a perfect pass, perfect lob right there. Once again, that secondary playmaking ability, right? He's showing more of that. You mentioned the play with Ron. I think it was a corner 3 that he found Ron for, letting the play out, letting Ron get there, and then hitting him right in the spot. Another play. So, and then you mentioned the Danny Wolf thing. For no good reason, he was matched up on him. I don't know why.
It's also
but he played big. He didn't let him score on him. He did not let him score, and he didn't foul, like you said. So,
fourth quarter,
guard multiple spots.
We're up by a bunch. Doesn't matter. That's what I love to see too. They just let him just bully his way in and get an easy layup because what are the chances that they come back? We're already up by a lot. No, played him hard. Loved it.
100%. So now, like you said, if he can get that jump shot to fall, I think he could have a really good second half of the season. Like his shot still doesn't look good yet. Like a lot of times you'll see guys when they shoot and they miss. Like even I won't use Ron as a perfect example, but a lot of Ron's threes, like some of them are air balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But most of his threes aren't like clankers.
That was like Tobias.
A little long, a little short. But with even with Tobias, But with Kevin right now, they're offline. Like you can see, like as soon as he lets it go, it's not good. Even the one he made, he rattled it in. Like he had to nurse it in there. Like so, like if he can just get some consistency with that 3-ball, 36%. Give me 37% from 3, second half of the year. If he does that, along with all the little things he did, I think he will be the backup shooting guard, or at least getting minutes at the shooting guard spot, and that'd be helpful.
Like we saw a couple days ago with LeVert still in the lineup too. We did see Kevin Huerter minutes. And I do want to say he's a couple, because it's mostly his 3 that needs to be worked on, because we both talked about earlier when we got him. He's a very efficient mid-range shooter too. Those just didn't fall tonight either. Like he could have easily gone 5 for 8 if a couple of his just jump up floaters went in. They weren't way off, but those he doesn't really miss. So it was almost like an off shooting night for him, but he made up for it in every other way.
Right. McLemore's right. Yeah. He's big too. He's 6'6", I believe. And he's better defender than he's not Karras. I think Karras is a pretty good defender, if I'm being honest. He's not that, but he's good enough. He's good enough.
He's not
consider the other things he can do. And he's not a cone. Exactly. So that's good enough. So if he keeps that up, man, and if he's able to hit that shot, that 3-ball consistently, boss, I think he can really help this team come playoff time for sure.
Yeah.
What up, Sharita? Go ahead, boss.
Sharita says, I'm new here. This is, I believe, my 3rd live episode, and I'm hooked. I enjoy your guys' breakdown of the games. New follow here. Let's go Pistons. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're happy
let us know. Yeah, we're happy to get you here. Let us know your favorite Pistons moment from this season. I'm trying to keep track of all the ones I've seen so far, so we can get yours in there too. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, guys, we're keeping track of your moments. We're starring them so we can come back to this combo later. So definitely keep sending if you we see them. So
stick around. We're gonna get to it.
I've seen a couple people mention one of them that I haven't seen anyone mention the other. So I'm excited.
Coming in about 25 minutes.
Yes.
Boss, let's go to Ron Holland. Lil Ron in this game, guys. Tonight, Ron finished with 16 points on 5 for 13 shooting overall, 1 of 6 from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw line. I'm encouraged by that. 3 boards, 2 assists, and 1 turnover in 29 minutes. I don't remember him playing that many minutes in quite a while, boss. So go ahead, take off on what you saw from Lil Ron, Dog Pound Jr.
Right. So 1 of 6, again, you look at this, you're just like, was he? But he was taking that tonight. They left him open, and this is when he gets those up. And he was getting frustrated. I think he missed his 3rd one, and JB on the sideline, you hear him, he, gave him a pat on the back and said, "Atta boy." Like, he's like, "That's what we want. This is
Which
like, that's what
means
we want."
exactly.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
but he was just Ronnie Hustle tonight. And also another game of just sacrificing his body. First of all, the flagrant fouls that he was just dealing with were nuts. And the one in the throat, I didn't like the flopping call because, like, you have kids and I work with kids, and if they hit me, they're kids, so they can't hit too hard. They're toddlers. But if they hit me in the throat or the neck, I had to gasp it. So if you hit me hard here, it's gonna affect me. So I didn't like the flop. I was like, okay, call it a non-intentional whatever, even though I disagree because he was definitely shoved. But like, don't call it a flop because
especially when it's an offensive foul already.
Let me come poke you right here, because it wasn't his neck, but it was right here. But let me come poke you right here, ref, and you'll see that you need a cough for a second. So that was a little bit annoying.
It's an offensive foul. I could see if it wasn't a foul at all,
right?
But he hit him. So if he hit him, you're trying to determine that he didn't hit him hard enough.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. But so he was a little frustrated tonight, just in terms of he was getting, because he had only had 3 personal fouls, but he got a couple of fouls that he didn't agree with. Then his shot wasn't falling. So he was getting frustrated, which some of you mentioned already. I was just impressed that he didn't, let it escalate on his end. Wu, I was very impressed with. I mean, Javonte Wu basically, he pulled Ron away, but he basically pulled Ron away. Like, it wasn't just a simple, come on, boy. Like, Wu, I think would have held on to him and picked him up and carried him back to the bench if he needed to. Like, he was like, "You're not doing this," because Ron got up fast and Wu knew it. But that was just so funny because Ron before because he didn't want to. We saw him push down Keon Ellis, who that was a flop, and then we've seen him, jump up like that and try to fight Clarkson last season. So I'm very impressed by him. Even though we saw some emotion out there from him tonight, he didn't draw any text. He didn't, get any flagrants, didn't get ejected, nothing like that, because despite the frustration on the floor, the physicality, and his shots not falling, he that's the mindset that you really don't want to be in when you get angry. And he was able to keep his cool. I don't know what would have happened if Wu didn't pull him away, but at least he kept walking when we pulled him away, and that's something. So.
Yeah, no. I was gonna save that because that was my only comment for Wu tonight. He played good, but I'll just mention that that reminded me of when Jared Vanderbilt stood up immediately when Luka tried to dap up JJ Redick, and Redick was like, and he walked away, and Luka stood up on the bench, and next thing you see, Vanderbilt's up like nothing's going on, like, hey, good game, guys. Not even looking at either one of them, like, but he's standing in between them. Like, he stood up like, hey, how about the Lakers tonight, guys? So that reminded me of that moment, because just understanding the situation. You got to have a guy like Wu who's going to be a diffuser, right? You got guys on this team who can turn up quickly, but having a guy like Javonte Green who knows the situation and is not going to allow it to escalate, so these guys can still be available. You need to have a guy like that on your team, and he's that guy.
That just reminded me of a quick tidbit, because I went and saw Knicks Nuggets last week, and Cat was complaining. I got a video of it because I was like, oh, here's a famous Cat moment. This is what he's known for. So he's complaining as he goes to the bench, and you see him trying to talk to the ref, and then you see Jose Alvarado jumping up, trying to block his face from seeing the ref. So that just reminded me of that same, those teammates that are like, no, I'm not going to let you, get this upset about it.
Protect you from yourself, bro. Yeah,
just when you brought up that one, because I love that Vanderbilt one because it was so nonchalant. And just so nope. And so remind me of the Alvarado one, but that's exactly, and we've seen Cade do it too. We've seen guys, run over, and whether it's Stu or Ron or whoever. And Stu, I think, was in the game and just kind of circled that. So that's also props to Stu, because he approached, but he didn't do anything. Everyone kind of huddled around, but nobody threw hands. But Stu was like, I'm here if Ron, if Ron needs it. So I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Ron, man. Shout out to Ron. Just he played pretty well in this game. He didn't shoot well, but aside from that, I thought he was a huge impact player in this game. But he's just showing a lot of mental growth.
Yeah.
He took a beating tonight, man. He took a beating. He was on the floor, it felt like more than he was on his feet. Every time you looked up, Ron was on the floor with his head down, trying to keep his composure, trying to get up off the floor.
it's like, thank God he's 19, 20. Because some of these other guys out here wouldn't be able to do that every night. They get hurt,
they get hurt or they get ejected because they get sick of it.
Yeah.
And so last year, he probably would have gotten tossed after that first cheap shot.
Yeah.
He probably would have found a way to get to him, would have been chasing him, or after the second one for sure, he probably would have got tossed. He probably something would have happened. He would have got at least a T at the very least. And that would have been like, we got away with one. But last year, he probably would have got ejected if we're being real. So I just want to give him credit because it's almost like he knows guys are going to be coming after him, or he knows, because other teams know that we have a lot of guys on this team who are very passionate, guys who aren't afraid to turn up quickly. Everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen it, from the past years with Stu, LeBron, and all this mess, and this year with the Hornets and everything in between, Pacers and all this stuff, right? So they know. But Ron, I just like how he's just showing. They showed him on the bench after the second one, and he's literally sitting there like this.
Yeah, he was focusing.
Deep breaths. So but it shows me though that he is focused on making sure he's not hurting his team. Because we always say Ron just wants to help his team. If he turns it over, he wants to go get it back before they score. Like he just wants to do whatever he can to help this team positively. And you can see it bothers him when he's not able to. So he knows that he also hurts his team when he's not available. Yeah. So it seems to be a focus for him. I never saw him last year doing that on the bench. I saw him on the bench talking, staring guys down. But this year he's a little bit different with his approach, and that shows a lot of maturity for him, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that too with Stu going out for being suspended for 7 games, and Trajan, when asked about that, I was just talking about how he knows that it's not to happen again. Especially with the little bit of a losing streak we went through, we can't afford that. Neither one of them are close enough to. Maybe Stu, I think he still has 12. He should be good. But neither one of them are close to being. Ron's not close to being suspended for a game or anything. But you don't want to be. Jaylen Brown got ejected today, and I watched a little bit of it, and it was just that they were like, he needs to leave now so he doesn't get. They have OKC coming up in 2 days. He needs to leave now so he doesn't get suspended for a game.
Right.
And so I think that as a team, they also know that be passionate, be physical, but we need you. We can't have you missing in these next few games. And especially with the star injured, we need as much as we can going into this playoff push. So I'm sure that just was reiterated of
facts.
It's, if you get angry, Tech, okay, but if you can prevent it, don't, prevent it.
If you can help it. Yes. Yeah. 100%. Heisenberg says, Ronnie reminds me so much of young Dennis Rodman with all the taking charges, diving for loose balls, and general hustle. Yes. Yeah, bro. That's it. That's his role. We know that there is more to his bag, right? Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders ever, period. But he didn't have much of an offensive game. And I think Ron has a lot of potential. Not saying he's going to be better or whatever, but just as far as two-way play, Ron has a lot of potential to be able to do more than just be a great rebounder, a great on-ball defender, making heady plays. He has a lot more potential to be able to eventually do more for this team. But much like we said last year with JD, the focus was defense. And now we're seeing JD, now that he's doing that, get more offensive responsibility. So I think the same thing can be for Ron as he focuses on this. And he has the thing is, he has no problem in this role. He loves being in this role. He loves being the guy to go stop the other team, make their best player uncomfortable, get under their skin. He loves doing that. There's nothing you got to try to convince him of doing that. He just likes to do that. Whatever you need him to do, he's going to do it. He takes pride in that. So I'm just looking forward to seeing him progressing the next year or two or three down the road as he starts to find that balance with his offense, starts to add more to his bag in a Jimmy Butler type of role with the Bulls, that kind of a thing. Where Jaylen Brown, for example, with the Celtics, who when they came in, they were defensive-minded dogs. And they slowly built out their offense over time, but they had no problem in the beginning doing the dirty work. And I kind of see that trajectory right now for Ron. Yeah,
agreed. And I mean, I have nothing really more to say to that except, it's, he's a fast learner because they've challenged him to take more shots. They've challenged him to this. I got a new nickname, Ron 5 Hour Energy. That's exactly what he is, the hustle guy. Yeah. But he's been challenging to grab more rebounds. Any challenge they give him, he's willing to step up to. And his shots weren't falling tonight, but he confidently took 6 threes.
Yeah.
And because his team wanted him to, like I said. I want to answer this too real quick from Sharita. Okay. Are you guys worried about us keeping our composure against Charlotte the last game of the regular season? So Charlotte is actually in the running to be our first matchup, playoffs. We don't know yet because they're in the play-in. And so I think for me, for the last game of the season, I'm not worried about, because especially if we have, unless it's 4 position, like unless that game decides who's number 1 in the East, I don't see us playing our starters long, maybe a little bit, just like last year too. We played a lot of our deep bench and our G League guys. So it's not that one. I am curious about an off-season, a first round matchup. It's kind of my worst case scenario. It'd be very physical, it'd be very entertaining, but it would be not easy, not in the slightest. They are on a 2-game losing streak, so I'm curious to see how they finish out their season as well. But they're pretty much guaranteed to play in right now, I believe. So,
and if they make the play-in, I have them coming out of the playoffs. Like whoever's in that play-in, they're going to be one of those 2 teams who make the playoffs. So I'm with you for sure.
And not if Bam is getting 41 free throws.
Don't matter.
Yeah. But anyways, so I'm not worried about that last game, but that is a good question, because Charlotte's definitely a team I don't want to face again necessarily.
Yeah, we'll beat them, but that'll be a tough. You know what? For that to be the first round that we win in 17 years, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
Like we had to earn it. That'll be like, what a first round win. What a way to break that streak against a young up and coming team. That would probably do a lot for our experience and our confidence going forward, to be able to get that monkey off our back and then do it in that fashion against the up and coming team. It would be low key fun. I feel you, but I wouldn't mind it at all. I wouldn't mind
it would definitely be a battle of offensive focus versus defensive focus. And that's, I think, why, and that's another reason why, especially since they're kind of on my mind, I want to see us, like we talked about, stack games like this, where we are getting stops that get us to our offense and things like that. Then I feel much better about our defense. And that's also why I'm excited for Sasser to come back, but if he needs the extra rest until postseason,
oh man,
like, don't come back till he feels 100%.
He's too important.
Yeah,
it's too important.
Perimeter
that would be a dogfight without him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Brandon Miller knows. Yeah, for sure.
Ooh,
yeah, Devin says it'd be lit. Devin says, he wouldn't mind that at all either. Cruz says BTA. Yeah. But that's all I got for Ron. You got anything else? One more thing for Ron. Keep shooting the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Keep shooting the ball. His form looks good. Everything, mechanics look good. Just keep shooting it. As long as they're good shots, as long as they're in rhythm, I don't care what the percentage is. Keep getting them up. That's why you're working on it, bro. Keep getting those shots up. You can't just get them up in practice. You got to get them up in games. Keep shooting the ball. I'm not concerned about Ron with that at all. I want to put that out
tonight. Yeah, 5 of 6 free throws. So that's another thing too. Is that's another thing that's exciting, because if he's open at the 3, he can take it. But if they collapse on him, he knows how to get around them and can at least get to the rim. And we know he has a nice touch. Or if he's getting these foul calls and he's making his free throws, I'm comfortable with that too. So he's, even if they're not falling, we like we said, we just saw him have a 2 of 4 game. We've seen him hit 3 or 4 threes in a game before this season. It would make it trickier for the defense to decide what to do if even one or a couple of those go in. So
exactly. Keep getting it up, bro. All right, boss. Let's go to Javonte. Can you woo Green, guys? Javonte Green had 8 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3, 3 or 4 from the free throw line, 4 boards, and 3 steals, boss, in 23 minutes. So some guys who we don't normally see get in the 20s got in the 20s tonight. Got some bump. What'd you see tonight from Wu?
Yeah, so I know one of my notes, like you said too, was to just grab him away from Traore. He just got away from it.
Play the game for him for me.
Yes, but he was hustling for loose balls as always. He was also great help defense on the paint. He was crazy. He was guarding whoever the point was, and the minute someone got in the paint, he was able to get in there and disrupt and go right back out to the point. Like, he's very fast. He's also a 5-hour energy guy to me, because when he's on the bench, he's jumping around. He gets out there. He just wants to move. Like, I feel like he'd be okay if there was never a stoppage of play. I think he could just run laps all day. Truly. So
he don't stop.
The help defense was just fantastic. And obviously the one-on-one defense, the ISO defense, the perimeter defense, all great. But I just noticed his help defense in the paint, which was huge. And it wasn't under the rim. It was like at the top of the paint. So he had that really nice jam off of the Jenkins assist. Like, that was a woo jam. Which did he miss one this game or last game he missed one?
Last game he was. No. The first game against the Nets.
Yes. Okay.
He missed it.
Everything
was just going bad for everybody.
Yes, and this one he got, and it was just like, it was smooth. It was powerful. It was nice. So I'm glad that he redeemed himself there. But 3 steals also. I mean, for him and Jenkins to get 8 of our 12 steals,
that's crazy.
Like, That's nuts. Duren had 2, and then Sass and Cade each had 1. So our bench just really came through on defense, which we know that they can do. But it was nice because we haven't, like you said, 23 minutes, which he did play in like the garbage time at the end with some of these younger guys. But he's been a guy that we've seen 8 minutes, 11 minutes, and when he was getting closer to like 17, 18. So this is definitely where I want to see him more. I would have even just liked to see him a little bit earlier in the game too, but
second quarter, right? When he came in.
Yeah.
Right.
But he knows his role again. Like I don't think anybody necessarily feels like they're gypped or anything when they do get less minutes in a game. They understand that this team is deep and they're trying to solidify some things before the playoff run.
Yeah.
But it's never a disappointment when he's out there. I think he had his worst game just last game or the game before, but like this is a Javonte Green game. And I know that better. He did get 1 of 2. There's 2 of 5 overall, but he had 1 of 2 threes, and his first shot was a 3 that went in. But again, like just the 4 rebounds and the 3 steals, that's what we ask of him. And then if the offense comes to him, he takes it. So great woo game.
This is funny. Heisenberg says JD got to play that game against the Hornets with oven mitts on, so he don't mush. No more mushing, bro. No more. That's funny. Mr. Chris says, Mr. We back in the winner circle and it feels good, coach. That is for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, man. I thought he was great. Like he's never gonna have a huge stat line. Even if he plays heavy minutes, he just does a lot of once again, we got a lot of guys who do small things, little things, the Rons, the Woos, the Huerters.
Yep.
At times the carries. Like we have a lot of guys on our bench who are interchangeable and can do a lot of small things for this team. Once again, he plays the same way. I always say it seems like, but he does the same thing every way. He plays the same way every game. Disruptive, gets in passing lanes, makes it tough for guys. Just all things that contributes to what we want to do, which is play tough defense and get out in transition where he's actually best offensively. Go figure, right? So yeah, it makes sense for him to play that way because it helps his offensive game when it's there. So he's very, like you said, he's always going to be taking advantage of his defensive opportunities, and then offensively just letting it come. Just being opportunistic. He's not going to force shots. He's not going to dribble into double teams. He's not going to be selfish. He's always going to take the shots when it's there. Yes, he's very good in passing lanes. He's got very active hands, man. Some of the best I've seen, maybe in the league, because he just finds a way. His nose always finds the basketball. He's really good at that.
He's very good at recovering. Like every now and then, especially early on, we'd see him go for a steal and miss, and his guy would get past him. But like today, he went for a couple and was able to go for it and then come back and pull back and guarding him. He's just he's very smart. Like he's someone that I think he just has great IQ out there for both ends, but it's most impactful on defense. He can read the situation and the schemes very, very well. And I'm actually curious if he does. I mean, they all watch film, obviously, but I'm curious if he watches schemes of teams because it does just seem so. He's been the most consistent player for me all year, but just the way he breaks up defenses, no matter or offenses on defense, it seems like he's studying these guys and he's understanding where the ball's going. It's almost like that's how he knows where it's going. So
Zolar been here for a minute. That's what we always say. He doesn't hurt you. He doesn't hurt you on the court. That's why he often finishes games. Even though he doesn't start him, because you can trust him not to hurt you and to encourage the way you want to play. I agree with you there, Zolar, for sure. The one thing that you mentioned, though, really quickly, that if there was, you could even call a knock that I had on him this year, it was that he was a little bit too aggressive at times, playing those passing lanes, trying to get the steal. It's great if you get it because it's easy 2 points. But if you don't, now you're playing 4-on-5 defensively because now you're behind the play, right? And that was the only thing at the beginning of the year, I was kind of like, just chill on those, just play straight in front or just play straight up. But now when he's first of all, he's not doing it as much, but when he's doing it, his percentage of actually getting the turnover, getting the steal have gone way up. A lot of time in the season, we see him try to go for it and he wouldn't get it. He's behind the play. Now somebody's got to rotate over it. Now he's got to try to rotate to his guy, help the helper, that kind of stuff. But now it's like when he's doing it, like you said, even if he doesn't get it, he's still staying in front. It was the one play where he tried to get it on MPJ. He was like, but he didn't get behind him. He didn't get behind. He didn't let him get behind him or in front of him. So once again, he's picking and choosing when to do it. And when he doesn't do it, he's still not behind the play like he used to be.
Yeah,
so,
he's gotten a lot better, a lot crisper.
Way better with that. Yeah, for sure. So I love Javonte Green, man. I love him on this team for sure. All right, guys. Let's keep it pushing, boss. Let's go to our nope, we got three more guys. Let's go to Stu first. Isaiah Stewart. Tonight, guys, Stu had 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting, all 1 from 3, 8 boards, 1 assist, and 1 block in 22 minutes. What'd you see from Dog Pound Sr.?
Man, 4 points seems low. I feel like he got it more. But he had no free throw attempts, which is crazy. But because in the first and in the second, the Nets basically stopped him by not allowing him to get the ball. They wrapped him up. So that's probably, he didn't have free throws because he wasn't in a shooting motion. They just literally did not let him get the ball.
Exactly.
Which we saw the past few games against teams. Like it's difficult for him to get it down there. Not because, people can't wrap up JD the same, but they don't want Isaiah Stewart getting going on both ends. He got, a block. The 8 rebounds is huge. 2 of 7 isn't great. He attempted 1 3, which was close. No fouls. Wow. Yep. And no turnovers. So the defensive rebounds were 5, offensive 3. So that's a good split. I love that. His presence, I feel like he isn't full Stu yet. He's been back for 5 games. He's not full, but again, just like these last few games that we've lost when everyone's had to improve. So, we might not have seen full Stu in those moments because, like I said, when we slump, everyone slumps. But he looked great tonight. But I think there's still a level to be unlocked since he came back. I think we're still missing a little bit of not aggression. It's hard to pinpoint it, but it's a little bit of maybe just his own crispness, his own stuff, his own just full form. I think he's at 80%, I would say. And that's fine because is on the right trajectory. Again, he's not doing anything to harm us out there. He got a block, great read in defense. I think they went at him. The block that he had, they went at, or I don't know if this was the block or if they just lost it, but they went at him and he was a little bit late to challenge a dunk and they dunked it over him. And then they went at him again the next play and he was ready. And they didn't. It was either he blocked it or the guy lost it or just had a terrible shot. It definitely affected. So, no one was really trying him either, but they definitely stopped him from getting going on the offensive end. That's for sure. And by literally wrapping him up, holding on to him.
Yeah. Intangibles again for me. He didn't have a huge output box score wise. This was a box score deceiving type of game for me when it came to Stu. A few things that I saw in this game that weren't major things that kind of stood out to me. He's a really good screener, man. Yeah. Whether it's out of the pick and roll, whether it's off ball where you got a guy coming off screens. There was 1 3 that Cade had that was one of the many that I think Cade hit 4. One of those 3, Cade was wide open. Yeah. There wasn't anybody within 10 feet of him, 15 feet of him. And that was because Isaiah Stewart screened 2 guys on one play. He's just a wall. It just doesn't make any sense. He's always been a good screener pick and roll. But even the off-ball stuff, he's just creates so much space for guys. Next time, guys, you see Cade taking a wide open 3, play Where's Waldo with Stu. I guarantee you will find him. If he's wide open, you will find Stu setting the screen somewhere, getting him open. He's one of the best in the league at just helping guys get open. And he's always been good at that.
I think he's a great screener, and when he gets the every now and then offensive foul for that, it's usually just because Cade's or whoever he's screening for, it's usually Cade or Dunk or someone, it's just a little bit too quick. He's great at setting his feet. He's great at getting over go. But usually when he gets those offensive fouls, it's not because he's not a good screener. It's just because it's a little bit a miss. You see it in every team goes through that. But his screening is fantastic. And we've mentioned it a few times, but that was his biggest criticism to Duncan Robinson when he first came here. He's why aren't you using those screens? Because he understands what his role is on defense, but he absolutely also understands what his role is on offense, and it's getting his shooters open.
Yep. Yeah. And then he the other thing is that he's fearless, bro. He got dunked on by Ben Saraf. One of the rare times that somebody's caught a body on Stu, right? But very next play, he tried to go at Stu again. I don't know why he tried it again, but he tried to go at him again. And if Stu was a guy who was worried about getting postered and being on Bleacher Report and sideline sources and ESPN and all these different things on social media, or if he cared about anybody else's opinion, on that second one, he would have stayed on the floor. He wouldn't even have tried to go and block it. But he went up again and challenged it and forced him into a bad mess. That's Isaiah Stewart, man. He don't care. He don't care about stats. He don't care about getting postered. All he cares about is I want to win. You may catch me once, but I'm coming right back. If you decide to try it again, you're not gonna so I just love that about him. He's fearless, bro. He's just gonna do what's best for the team. He's not thinking about himself ever. It's all about helping his team win. And the last thing, don't expect Stu, guys. Can you Stu? That's hilarious. I don't expect Stu guys to be involved in too many more scuffles that are detrimental to the team this season. I don't see that. Like when it could have potentially, you mentioned the play with Ron and Traore. When that happened, you mentioned Stu. He came over too. But he signaled to the official. Like he just said, he looked at the official, said, hey, we're good. Like you can see he's trying to change the narrative a little bit. Like, hey, I come in peace. Unless somebody come at me first, I'll come in peace. But you didn't see him getting in Traore's face, and hey, you didn't see any of that. He went over, made sure they were good because Javonte had him. He went to the ref because the ref came over. He said, hey, chill, we straight, we good. It didn't even like that. So I personally, boss, I just think that we know that team. We said it before, but we know teams are going to try to go after guys sometimes. Maybe in the playoffs, if you can get a guy suspended for one game, that could be the difference in the playoff series, especially guys important to see defensively, right? So it just seems to me that like guys like Stu and Ron, they've probably talked to these guys and they probably talked to the coaches, had conversations, and they're probably like, look, we can't afford to not have a Stu for a playoff series like we did last year. We can't afford to have a Ron missing a couple games because of something that happened because the guy who he got into it was a bench player who doesn't even play for that team. They'll take that trade-off. They'll take a third stringer getting into it with Stu or Ron if it means they're both going to be out of the game because it didn't hurt them, but it hurt us. So, like, it just seems like they're aware that guys may be trying to hunt them a little bit. So I just like how Stu and Ron are both using restraint and not allowing those guys to get the win in that situation by taking them out of the game.
It's a mind game that a lot of teams play. I see Jokic do it with Gobert. He's often popping off against us. You see, there's just certain guys in the league that, you know, are passionate about the game and their team. And you know, it's just a little bit of rage baity. And we've seen Stu even not get kicked out, but we've seen him, you know, I think Giannis comes to mind of someone who rage baits Stu because Stu will pull him down by his jersey. Like, always. Yeah. So they, you know, and so, but like you said, it's important that I don't think, of course, like if, you know, I don't see Stu jumping off the bench again, but if like Musa Duren happened and Stu was on the ground, like that happened in the playoffs, maybe Stu would do something to stick up for his teammate, but he's not going to do anything stupid. Like, you know, like you said, he's not going to get involved in something like this tonight because there was just no point, no reason. Yeah, so,
exactly. Hosmer said, they better come get Stu to the ref. Somebody better come get their kid here. Yeah, right. Facts, bro. Yeah, he just seems to be a lot different now. He's not falling for it. He's not falling, at least not yet. He's only been back for about a week and a half, right? So I just hope it continues because we're going to need all these guys, man. We talk about our depth. It's going to be important to be able to use that as an advantage, and that means just being available. So, good stuff on Stu, man. I like it. Fat Kism says, do some boss knowledge. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for sure. Boss, we got, 2 more guys to get to in this game?
2 more. And then everybody's favorite highlights so we can just go
Yeah. So, wait, let's start with let's go P. Reed. Let's go B-Ball Paul first, boss. Tonight, guys, Paul Reed had this is so funny, man. 8 points on 2 for 2 shooting, 4-6 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 1 turnover and a steal in 7 minutes, bro. 7 freaking minutes, bro. This is like a thing now. Like if he gets 15 and more, I'm scared. Like I'm like, why are you playing so many minutes now? Like, so what'd you see from B-Ball Paul?
He comes out and he's just so aggressive. And this isn't, again, we're up by 40, you know, he's playing 8 minutes and he knows it, but he goes out and he plays like, you know,
Game 7.
He's like, this is my chance. So he does this every time. And Greg Kelster every time says, I love B-Ball Paul. Like, it's just just because how could you not?
You can't not.
So aggressive. I had one play I had that he had an offensive rebound off of the Ron missed free throw. And then he just dunked it. I was like, right when he got in. That's what I'm saying. Like, and a couple times, you know, the other drives, he created his own offense. He was driving to the basket, you know, got to the free throw line twice. And, you know, like he just was phenomenal. He had the 1 turnover. He got the free throw lines 3 times. He had the 1 turnover, and that was like right after his dunk, and he felt bad about it. But he's also a guy, like I said last time with Bobby, like, Paul Reed gets a little bit excited, but he's not there to pass. He can make incredible passes, but his bag is deep. Like he can do a lot. He even did a little pump fake 3 there. I love when I see the ball 3, so I was hoping he would shoot it, but no, he made the right decision. So just the guy I want to see more of. And again, we get to play I think his highest scoring game of the season was against the Sixers earlier this year, right?
Yeah. I think he had
His
30
full
in that
team.
game. Either that 28, something like
28,
that.
I
Yeah.
believe.
28 and 10. Yeah.
I think 28 was his high scoring game, but yeah, I was like, I couldn't remember who was on, but I think it was the Sixers, which is his former team. Oh yeah, because that's when I was like, Andre Drummond over me kind of stuff now, B-ball getting released by them. But so I'm excited. I hope that he gets minutes, not just garbage minutes, but I hope that he's in the rotation on Thursday, because he just looks like he's having fun out there and just wants to ball. So
yeah, that's the key. He just wants to ball. Like he comes into the game like when you're in elementary school and you get a surprise recess out of nowhere that you didn't think you were gonna have. Like, all right, surprise recess, and it's like, what? We get to go hoop, man. I'm about to go full. Like that's how he plays. Like he's just happy to be on the court. He's happy to be out there. He's going 1,000 miles an hour in control, of course, but he's just got this whole nother level of energy that nobody on the court has. That's why guys can't stay in front. That's why he's always coming in and scoring all these offensive rebounds. He's just got this pent up energy that he just wants to get out. And that reminds me when I was in school, in elementary school, the surprise reset come along. You get to go outside for 15 minutes, man. I'm about to go crazy.
Yep.
That's what that reminds me of. So I love it, man. It's just nice to have him on this team too. We're gonna need him for the playoffs. Yeah, I love Paul Reed.
Yeah,
Shout out to Greg Kelser. Yeah. All right, guys, boss. Let's go to our last guy, right? Last player for tonight, Chaz Lanier. Guys, tonight, guys, in this game, Chaz Lanier finished with 3 points on 1 for 2 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 1 assist in 6 minutes. What did you see from Chaz in limited minutes?
Well, he had a lob to Ron, which was his assist. A really nice lob to a Ron dunk. It looked casual, like he's been playing with Ron all season. And I loved, he was 1 of 2, but he hit his 3, and it was one of his. The last time he was in, I was like, oh, his release shot's a little slow, and this one was a quick catch shoot.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Like we've been seeing him doing the G League all season, just these incredibly fast release threes. It is so fun, and he had a couple fouls out there, which were like a little silly, but he just wants to be aggressive and physical too. So I can appreciate that. He's definitely someone that I'm glad that we saw him. We could have seen him for the full 4th. I think that JB just wanted to play some of his guys like Wu and Huerter that haven't gotten a lot of minutes, but are still up in the rotation above Chaz. Like they kind of have priority in the rotation above him. But if he can, if we can close out some of these games, and especially some, like I mentioned earlier about the last couple of games of the season, if seeding doesn't matter, we're going to see him get a lot of minutes with that. I just love to see him more in his form, because he's a guy, if he can shoot like that, I would love to see in the rotation next year and continue to grow as someone that we drafted. We drafted him for a reason. So just excited to see him out there and see, not only did, he hit his only 3 attempt, but it was a classic Chaz 3. It wasn't questionable. He just no hesitation. His release is so fast, guys. It is.
It's quick. Yeah. Chris says Chaz. That's gonna be the new one. Chaz.
Yeah.
That is Chaz. Either one. Albina says, why is Chaz productive in the G League but offensively struggles in the NBA? Because he's playing 5 minutes a game.
Yeah.
That's why. Like with the Crews, he is normally the primary option. He's playing a ton of minutes and he knows the ball is coming to him. And it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're playing 5 minutes a game. Right? It's hard to really do anything when you come into the game late in the game. And there's no structured offense. There's no plays running. You're just trying to get in where you kind of can fit in. And it's just hard to be effective in that kind of situation, right? But he still finds a way here and there to do so, right? If he's knocking down that shot, playing solid defense, which he always does, he's going to be fine. I think he's going to get more minutes next season when he gets more comfortable with these guys and in the system. We'll see more Chaz in there. But the limited minutes, boss, that we're seeing from him now, I like it. I want to get to this too. Some of you guys, recess was classic. You remember Fat Kism. You remember what that was like. And then somebody else said something about that too. Where is it? Kenyatta says surprise recess is insane work. You remember those days though? I know some of y'all do based on how long y'all seen y'all watching the Pistons. I know y'all gotta remember those recess days. So don't leave me hanging on that one, but I know you remember that. But yeah, I thought it was good, man. He just looks very comfortable, boss.
Yeah.
He looks like he understands where he's supposed to be on the court, what he's supposed to be doing. He knows his role. His role. He's a 4-year college player, played at Tennessee, tough defensive-minded team. He's very, very high IQ player, very team player, unselfish, who can really shoot the ball. And I think he had a 40-point game with the Crews this year, so he can get it done at the next level for sure. Go ahead.
And another reason why he's popping off in the Crews is because he just has more time with those guys, more time in the lineup. The Crews practice with the Pistons, so they definitely, again, we can see those guys come up and fit in. But like he doesn't have a ton of minutes with Cade Cunningham. He doesn't have a ton of minutes with some of these guys. And like Daniss was on the floor with him tonight, which is another G Leaguer. But everyone else that's a two-way right now or in G League assignment was gone tonight, except for Chaz. So, so yeah, that's just a little bit more continuity that I think will just be beneficial as he practices more with this team in the offseason too. He's a guy that, we haven't gotten enough of him to where, I'm like bonded to him with this team because trade seasons are always hard, but he's a guy I would hate to lose because I think he has crazy potential, especially as he develops just rhythm on the NBA court with that three. We already know how he can shoot it. And it's, again, just incredibly fast compared to a lot of other guys and smooth. So I think his developments.
He's going to be here, I think. I feel you, though. I think he'll be here.
Same. I agree. I do think that. I think that especially just like with Ron, like Trajan is very intentional with his draft picks, and they're not just someone he's going to want to give up. And I'm cool with that. But I would love to see, like I said, I think just the more time he gets in the NBA with that three, it's going to become pretty lethal. So.
Facts. Agree. Concur.
Yes.
All right, guys. So before we get to our favorite moment, we're going to do that briefly. But let's take a look ahead at the Pistons schedule and see what we have on tap. So, guys, the Pistons don't play again until Thursday night when they return home to host the Philadelphia 76ers. They will be without all three of Joel Embiid, Paul George, and reportedly today, Tyrese Maxey. He's going to be out for at least another 3 weeks where he gets reevaluated. And guys, this is going to be a nationally televised game. It will be streaming on Amazon Prime at 7 p.m. EST. So y'all know what that means, man. We got another live stream, watch along, coming for the game. So make sure you guys have your alerts turned on for that so you guys can watch that game with us for sure. What are your thoughts on that, boss? Any of that?
Well, it is the first of a back-to-back because we also have a game on Friday against the Grizzlies. The Sixers played tonight. It was a high-scoring game, but the Sixers came out on top. Again, the Grizzlies kind of have nobody, like none of their stars. Like, I mean, JJJ was traded. God's not playing. All this, So they are very limited people. It should be another route, that game. The Sixers, like I said, someone said that Drummond didn't play tonight. I'll have to double-check that. But they have, like I said earlier, like campaign – 32 points, Oubre 30. Oubre tends to go off against us. We've seen campaign with the Knicks go off against us. They have VJ Edgecombe, who's one of my favorite rookies.
I like him.
This season. I think that they got rid of McCain because Edgecombe took his minutes because McCain was injured and Edgecombe, stepped up. That's my theory.
McCain can hoop too. That's the crazy part. It just shows how good Edgecombe really is right now.
They should have never gotten rid of him, but yeah, VJ can do it all. He's great. He's a really good rookie. So I'm excited to see him play and us play against him and match up against him. And then Quentin Grimes is someone that they're trying to go with in the franchise. So he got 23 points at night as well. They had 4 guys over 20 points, 2 guys over 30. So they do have offensive weapons. I definitely think we're the better defensive team. If we play like we did tonight and get the baskets that we like, I mean, obviously our 3-point shooting was incredible, but even just getting, paint presence, especially if they either don't have Drummond or Drummond is just Drummond and Bona. It's not, Embiid. I don't think we've really ever played. And then and without Maxey, I'm a little bummed about that because Maxey is probably my favorite player that's not a Piston. So he's just one of my favorite players in the league, and him and Cade are so fun. And obviously we got to see him together in the All-Star.
That was dope.
Him and Jenkins know each other, so it would have been nice.
They know each other for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we need the wins, but to play against, Maxey and them would have been fun. But the Sixers are fighting for a spot. I think they just fell down into the play-in. I think they're in 7.
Yeah, I believe so.
So the wins matter to them. They want to get up to 6. They want to get out of the play-in. So they're going to – yeah, exactly. Can't play down the competition type games. Agreed. And I think they're going to come out strong and they want to win. They need to.
Right.
Like they need to win to keep growing that lead, to stay out of the play-in because play-ins are, basically 1 and done or 2 and done. So,
missing those three guys, no reason to lose despite that. You're right. You're right. But the Pistons still got to come take care of their business, and because they're still significantly better.
Absolutely. Yeah, agreed. And so it'll just be, Oubre's another guy who I think can get in some heads and get some stuff going. He's really good at drawing fouls. So yeah, it'll be a fun game, and we just have to. It'll be definitely tougher than tonight. I kind of equate it to the Heat game a little bit, even without their stars, only because I just know that Oubre and Payne have given us problems in the past. They're just just like I can say with the Heat, how Tyler Hero pops up against us, how what's his face, not Norman Powell, who's the other short one?
They got what's his name? Who's the forward that they have? Jaime Jaquez.
Oh yeah, well him on the Heat, but there's another guy.
Which team?
I can't think of it now.
Miami?
Okay. No, it's not Miami. It's just another short point guard who shorter, stockier point guard. It's not Norman Powell, but he always tends to pop off against us. I'll think of it.
Or the Heat, Davion Mitchell?
No, it's not the Heat. But I get him and Norman Powell confused sometimes.
Okay.
What am I thinking of? Oh, CJ McCollum.
Oh, okay.
I was like, people are built. CJ always has a good game against us. So Oubre does too, and so does Payne. Had a couple of good games against us in the playoffs last year. He hasn't been around enough, so
yeah.
But Bane
okay.
too.
He thought you were talking about Bane. Okay. Yeah,
he fits also.
I got you though.
Kind of shorter, stockier point guards, but
take care of business, man. But you're right. They got to bring it. They got to bring it for sure.
I'm excited for another live stream. We haven't done one. After the 3 in a row, we were kind of like, man, we just need a little bit of a break. Now we get to have that again. We have quite a few left of the season of national games. I want to say at least 40%.
I think the Thunder are the next up after this one.
Yeah,
that should be a fun one.
Yeah,
they're the 20.
That'd be the end of
something like that.
I think it's the 30. Yeah, but
it's later. Okay.
Yeah, we just got to keep stacking these because, like I said, we have them on Thursday. Friday we have the Grizzlies, which we should be good. They have a couple of good young. I like Jalen Wells a lot. I like Cedric Howard. I like a lot of those young guys. So it'll be fun. And I did hear they're both home games, and I heard that they're giving away a Cade Cunningham bobblehead. So you guys should go.
Hey,
if you want to go see the game live?
Okay,
go bring the vibe. So.
That's what's up. I still got this thing. I gotta get this. I gotta get my backdrop set up. I still got this thing. It's not a bobblehead, but I gotta get my backdrop set up. I got y'all. It's coming soon. Okay, boss. Let's get to some. We're gonna run through these quickly. We got a lot. Yeah. And you can just kind of give me yours after we run through these really quickly. I want to just put them on the screen. Yeah. So let's go through
some favorite moments, guys.
Paul Reed's 28 and 13.
Against the Sixers.
For me, either the 13-game winning streak or the Cade dunk on Drummond.
Sixers.
Right. Cade at the Knicks the whole game.
Yeah.
Cade's triple-double versus the Wizards in OT.
Ooh.
While we talking about Daniss, mine got to be the 3 in the corner after the breakdown and inbound. Introduce him to the NBA and introduce the NBA to him.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite moment was the stretch of games. All the backups held it down early in the season when we had the injury. That's mine, bro. That's mine. That's mine. It's not a singular moment. It's just that stretch. I agree with you there. Yeah. That's funny. It's the same one, bro. Fat Kism says, Daniss with the miracle 3-point shot against Washington.
Yeah.
Anytime B-Ball Paul gets some decent plays. Ain't mad at that. The left-handed dunk by Cade in traffic. No, sorry, Knicks. That first game when Daniss hit the shot descended. That seems to be a fan favorite. I'm not mad at that one. The whole game was lit. Pistons 112-105. W at Boston. 12-15-25. Nice. I like that. I like that numbers game. Have no love for the Celtics. I don't either, bro. I don't either. The Pistons beating the Knicks at MSG. Favorite moment of the season.
Yeah. All
of the Knicks blowouts. The Daniss Jenkins shot versus the Wizards to send the game to overtime. All the games against the Sixers. The first win against Boston. Third game against the Bucks. Okay. It's quite a few. I like it. 3-point attempt that got us overtime. That's probably Daniss. Our one memory I liked is when we stopped Jaylen Brown at the buzzer to win the season series. It shows up big right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Favorite moment. Cade's 42 and 13 masterpiece against the Knicks coming out of the All-Star break. That was one of the last few games we were really excited about how his team was playing, right? Before tonight. Has anyone mentioned when Cade posted Drummond? Yeah, I think somebody has. I like it, though. I like it.
Yeah.
I believe someone mentioned it in the chat already, but I believe the favorite moment is Cade's 40-piece against the Knicks. Yep, 42 and 13. That was mentioned. Favorite Cade moment. Favorite moment. Cade's masterpiece was a disrespectful dunk on Cat. I forgot about that one. Yeah. Blowout against the Knicks. And finally, I have a worst moment, and that happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right, against the same team. I agree. Boss, what is your favorite moment? Has it been mentioned already or not?
Yeah, so 2 came to mind. One was mentioned, and that was the Daniss 3. Just because also Deuce and I were kind of tapped in with Daniss before this. So we were excited for that, not only for what it did for the team in the win, but for him, because this is the exact kind of thing that we wanted to help propel him, which it did. Second one, was the one with Ron when he blocked Keontae George on the perimeter, like full-blown blocked him and then took that all the way for a slam. Because it was just such a nice – it was at the beginning of the season. Ron was kind of in a slump. You know, we talked about he's in a little bit of a sophomore slump to start the year. And then it was just one of his first very physical games where he just blocked him. I think it was Keontae George, and then just ran it all the way up for a slam. Like, I was just like, there's Ron Hustle, man, Ron Holland.
Exactly.
So that was one of my favorites and just has been all year.
Yeah. Mine was the 13-game winning streak. Just because the last time we did it, we won a chip.
The
Not
Denver
saying it's an omen or anything like that. But that was another one. Yeah. But just that stretch of games just showed. That's when I was really, boss, that's when I was really like, this team can really do something this year.
Yes. Right.
When that happened, because everybody wasn't available. Cade missed a couple games. A lot of guys missed games, and we just kept running through everybody. Everybody's like, next man up was more than just a slogan. It was more than just a saying. It was more than just something to say to have us thinking we can actually win if we don't have guys. No, they were literally winning every single game. Some of them very convincingly and some very close. Like, they were getting it done in different ways, despite being one of the youngest team in the league who didn't have all their guns with them. That's crazy. That's crazy. So for me, no question, it's that stretch for sure.
It was phenomenal again, because we did have so many different lineups, and it was kind of incredible how in sync this team was. And like you mentioned at the start of the podcast, that streak and those moments is what helped us get this, like, be able to afford this, you know, kind of slump. And that's, you know, other teams are going on runs right now because it took them to this point in the season to get in sync. And we, you know, started in sync early, and now we're just kind of getting back to that after a couple of things during the suspension, Stu suspension, a SAR injury, just little things that are going to help us. You know, Ivy left, that still affects you mentally. The team, you know, so with this little things to get back into that tonight was huge. Yes, it was against the Nets, but we just, like I've reiterated, we just looked like ourselves, like we've looked for most of the season. We were winning, playing bad, and then we were losing, playing bad, and now we're winning, playing good, and that's what we were doing all season and able to tap into. So, and a lot of there's a lot of those big moments too, guys, that you mentioned, like the dunk on Drummond and the Paul Reed game, like those happened during that streak. So it helped propel this team's confidence, not their egos, but just their confidence.
100%. And because like late in the season, when guys, like, or in the playoffs, when guys get in foul trouble, when your starters get in foul trouble, that 13-game winning streak, when guys had to step up in key moments and pivotal moments, and they showed out, when that could very well happen again in the playoffs. When guys JD could get in foul trouble, or Sark could get in foul trouble, and having a Paul Reed or having a Ron Holland or a Wu there, who's already shown to themselves and to coach that, you know, like, that coach can trust them, is huge. It's huge. So it's just nice to have that luxury, to have that depth. And that's when I knew, boss, that this team was really deep. That's when I knew, like, wow, they're not affected at all. It doesn't even matter. It was crazy. So it just gave me a lot of encouragement about where we could go this year.
Yeah, and there's been a couple other teams that are good teams, like the Nuggets, like the Spurs, like the Thunder, who have had to tap into their bench, and all of the benches have shown up, and that just means exciting basketball, honestly. When you can still be looking forward to a game and still challenge to a game when the stars aren't necessarily in. So it was what a fun season so far.
It's been, guys, I want to say this last thing and then we can get out of here, boss. Like, let's just take a second. Not saying anybody isn't, but there's been a lot of complaints about this and that, about our team not being perfect. Let's just take a moment and enjoy the season, man.
Exactly.
We only have 18 games left out of 82 in the season. Before we know it, the season's going to be over. It's going to be summertime, and we're going to be wishing we had Pistons basketball. We're going to be reflecting back on this year like, man, where'd the season go? We had a historic season for us from the past couple of years to now. We were in first place. When was the last time we were in first place for months? Consecutively. When was the last time that happened? It's been over 20 years since that happened. We were consistently for most of the year in first place.
Yeah.
So let's just enjoy this, man. Of course, you want to aspire to be better. And you have all these ambitions and aspirations for this team. Fine. But don't let that be the predominant thing. Well, this isn't gonna happen every single year, guys. We know that from 2 years ago. Let's not forget where we were, where we are now, and just enjoy it, bro. Just enjoy this, because this is just a fun time to be a Pistons fan. You feel how you feel about everything else, but just appreciate what we have right now, because it's not always gonna be like this. It's not.
Right. And I have to just say, like, this is to your point, and also just everyone sharing their favorite moments, especially after a losing streak. Like, this just really helps ground us back in. Like, we're still top of the East. We're up by 3.5 games right now after our win tonight and the Celtics lost. People thought that it was a fluke. Even I couldn't trust it for a little while being in first place, but then we just kept on rolling and we kept on going. And a 4-game lose streak being the worst thing to happen this year is incredible, especially last year. We've beaten now, like, we're 2 games ahead of what we finished with last year, and we were thrilled with stuff last year. The losses, we were like, but it was close. We're getting better. This year, obviously the last 4 losses were bad. So that's a fair, like, compared to how we've been playing. But
it's like we said,
like you said, great reminder to bring us back to what is done. Because there are some things in there that I'm like, I forgot about the Cade slam on Drummond. I forgot about that.
That's why I asked the question. I was leading to that. That's why I wanted to address it. The most adversity we had with this 4-game losing streak is how we started last year, guys. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
we started off last season on an 0-4 losing streak to start last year. We weren't losing our minds, of course, because the bar wasn't as high coming off a 14-win season. It was like, oh, here we go, more the same, checked out. But let's just keep it in perspective. Let's not say the sky's falling because we lost 4 games and we started last year like that.
And also,
so it took 60-some games to get to this point.
Last year, our first 2 games were against the Pacers and Cavs, who both ended up better. Like, it wasn't like their season spoke volumes later on. Because I remember texting my friend, after we lost to the Pacers, and I was like, well, don't worry. Like, I know we'll win to the Cavs, because the Cavs, I didn't expect them to be as good last year. Like, obviously they were so good that Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year. But our first 2 losses were to teams that advanced further than we did in the playoffs, went to the finals. So even that is just like, it's the first few games. It doesn't really matter. Just like the Bulls game. The Bulls went on a 5-game win streak to start the season.
To start the season. They beat us in their first game this year. First game of the season,
So it's just kind of crazy what we've been able to do. And of course, I think these words will mean more when we continue this win stuff. I don't want us to go back into a losing streak at all, because that means that we are just, struggling a little bit. But if we play like tonight, any team, is going, we just look back in our form to where we give teams problems on both ends.
Regardless, exactly. I agree. Last couple comments and we'll call it tonight, guys. Obina says, I want this team to beat the Pistons team that won 64 games. Unfortunately, it won't happen this year, bro, because we're already at 18 losses. So we would need to win out the rest of the year just to tie that record, to get to 64 and 18, which I don't want that. I feel like that is peaking too soon. You know what I'm saying? Give me a couple losses in there, here and there, to keep us humble. But we could, the best we could do is tie it, Obina. But we're not going to break it this year. And that's fine. We might not get to 60. This 4-game losing streak may have hurt that, right? But who cares? As long as we're peaking at the right time, I don't care. If we get to 58 and 24 or 57 or something like that, I'm cool with that. So we'll see. Miyuki says, let's enjoy and be grateful for our Pistons, but I do love drinking our opponents' tears. That's part of it. Enjoy it. No question, man. And then Sharita says, real question. So I'm so tired of hearing we're going to be first round exit. No, I don't think that. I don't think that.
I don't think so either. Of course, there, like we mentioned earlier with the Hornets, like there are a couple teams that can give us more problems than others could in the first round. But I think especially with our experience last year, just going through that with a lot of our guys retained, and then just how we've been rolling this year, I don't see it happening. And honestly, that's just like kind of my goal is I want to win a playoff series. And then, this team I think can go beyond the second round, but that if they make it to the second round and that's where they're eliminated, even though I don't even see that, it's because the play-on teams obviously seem a little bit tougher to me than 5 through 7. So, the mid teams that we play second round. But I do think
it's about steps. It's all about steps.
Right. And so the steps I'll be thrilled with, but I do think that they have enough of the mental capacity to handle, you know, the first round of playoffs this year. I mean, we played a very good Knicks team last year, and I always say this, only lost by 6 points total with a couple questionable calls at the end of games, which we shouldn't have to rely on, but it still could have been swung other way. People say all the time it could have easily gone the other way to us. Yeah. We just weren't ready for that quite yet, but this year I do appreciate it. And people, you know, people that say it are either the people that, you know, are taking this 4-game losing streak and dooming with it a little bit, or the competition, or the people that are saying that. So
100%. So we don't foresee that for sure. No. Heisenberg says, and that's an announcer said when the Pistons are hitting the threes, they are a juggernaut. Yes, sir. Yes,
I wanted to get to this one too from Doug. Really, one of my favorite moments is how you and Sarah put together this podcast. It makes everything so great. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Doug. OG.
Fun. Like you guys know, dude, has been doing this for a few seasons now, and he brought me in, and I've had a blast. This has been so much fun, and for sure. I like to say it's a little bit lucky. Like I don't know, you know, bringing me in got us here, but you know,
good luck, charm. Listen, I don't think anybody here is upset that I brought you on. So, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one, for making the right choice. I'm just Sarah's been great, man. Sarah's been great, and there's been games when I haven't felt well, or I've been at the games, and like that 13-game winning streak, next woman up, she just steps up to the plate and handles it. You know what I'm saying? It's like no skipping the beat. So we appreciate you guys. We're gonna end it there, man. Been a great show, guys. Thanks for showing up and showing out as you guys always do. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. And we hope you guys have a great night. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. See y'all Thursday night. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of K9. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.